Oh my God. Hi, everybody. Sorry we're a few minutes late. Welcome in. It is the final Friday of the 6 weeks of Spoopy, but keep in mind, I am here every Friday with the Spoopy content. And tonight is a topic I've been putting off for a little bit, and I needed some help with it. So I have Creek Native Girl up here with me. Welcome, Creek! Yay!
Hey guys.
So she's gonna help guide me through this topic. Which let me put on the banner first and foremost. You are not supposed to say these by name. So we're going to call them Sally, Sally's, whatever the case may be. Because you are not supposed to call them out by name. But what I will do is call my chat out by name. Thank you for posting links, Creek. Creek is Raven, loves Crunchy Cock right now. Girl.
I'm a doppelganger.
Yeah. She's running around trying to be me. I see Gata, Death, Sarah Locklear, The Addict's Basement, aka Tank Girl's Pet Dragon. I offer, if you need more support tacos, girl, let me know. Um, Cups by Julie, not April. I think I said Steph, but just in case, hey girl. T Girl, Into the Mystic, and I'm sure Frank and Beans, aka Hammy. All y'all with listen, I'm getting real tired of all y'all having two fucking names, man. Sarah K, Lynn, the 85-pound regard, Diff. I don't want to miss anybody. B. Walsh, and I'm sure more people will come in. So I've been putting this topic off for a little bit because it kind of freaks me out, and I felt like I definitely needed a buddy up here and somebody who Creek's name is usually Creek Native Girl. And do you want to kind of explain why you like, you know, like what your role in all this is? Consultation, guidance, all that stuff.
Outside of consulting with Raven on all this, I'm native. I've learned about them my whole life. How to talk about them, how to work around them. And as of recent, I've had one stalking me.
Mm. Are you're comfortable sharing that, right? Like the whole picture and
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
okay. So y'all know Creek and I are close, and we talk outside of YouTube. Um, and she's that yes, Creek's smoke detector is beeping in the background. Apologies for that. It could not be resolved before the stream. So when she's not actively talking, she will mute herself or I will mute her. Um, so Creek sent me a picture one day from the area around her home. And as I've stated many times, I'm an energy reader and I can sense stuff, get the energy of stuff, like all kinds of stuff. Y'all know I've kind of gone into it. I'll go into it more, but she sends me this picture and it was just of like the trees and, vegetation around her home. And immediately I picked up, I was like, there's something in those woods. Please don't go in those woods. And I immediately knew it was a Sally. And we've had conversations and she's pretty much confirmed that. And if you want to share whatever you're comfortable sharing about that.
Yeah. So, probably about August, I started seeing something really weird. It looked at like a dog at first, but the more comfortable it got getting closer to me, it made itself very apparent it was not a dog. It has
Mm,
been following and stalking not just me but everyone in my house for the past several months, and it's gotten more aggressive and it's gotten closer to the house. Uh, they're all. It's just The worst thing you could think of coming towards you.
And like, so you're feeling it, you're sensing it, you're seeing it, you're hearing it, like all of the
Yeah.
above, and
Yeah.
all the, and like everyone in your family, in your house. What do you think maybe attracted it to you guys, or like brought it to you guys? Like just happenstance, or
There's a few things. One is happenstance. The other has to do with my mom
yeah.
and some people she made mad.
Like they sent it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That can happen quite a bit with
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's more that second one, but the reasons it's latched on to everyone because we're here.
Yeah. And welcome in, Jessica MG. Yeah, this is a good point, Sarah K. And one thing I've realized, especially since I've moved out here to Nevada in the specific area I live in, a lot of people don't realize, like, including and outside of Sally's, oftentimes most like hauntings or entities that people deal with or they end up cohabitating with, it's the land you're on. Like, people either don't realize or forget that the land we're on, it I mean, the earth is sentient, and it absorbs things, it retains things, and some things are just there. Like, I have a friend that has something in his house and there's no name for it. I just call it that which has always been and always will be. Like, there's so much wild shit out there, you guys, but yeah, it's oftentimes it's just part of the land. And well,
Yeah, in the area where I live, it's always been inhabited by Native Americans going way back. That's how the reservation got put here.
Yeah. And can you please tell everybody what your people, your tribe is?
Yeah. We're the Porch Band of Creek Indians. We are part of the Muskogee Creek of Oklahoma. So the ones that are in Oklahoma were the ones on the Trail of Tears that came from Alabama.
Okay. Welcome into the Mystic. All right. So I looked up some Wikipedia stuff, but the first video I want to go into is, let me get him pulled up. I didn't put this in my description because I wasn't sure if I was going to include it. I will go back and do that. This is from a channel called, here, let me share the copy. Let me throw the channel link. This is from a channel called Navajo Traditional Teachings. And this gentleman's name is Wally. I've been subscribed to and watching this channel for years. It's amazing. Here's the link. 10 out of 10 recommend. And I think this video is a good video to start with, because he not only touches on the Sallys, but other negative entities in general. And I think it's very valuable because, as you'll see, he goes into detail about what can attract these things to you and what can keep them around. Oh, see the pic, B Walsh. I'll try and post it later if Creek's comfortable with that, because again, this is from around her home and her property. There's nothing in the pic to see. It's literally just like some trees and plants and bushes. Again, the way my abilities work is I can look at a picture and pick something up. So there's actually nothing to see in it, and I don't know if Creek's comfortable doing that, and it's not readily available. So
I'm fine with it if I can find it or you can.
yeah, I don't even remember where it's at, but yeah, we'll try and do it maybe before the end of stream. If not, we'll see what Creek is comfortable with as far as like posting it in the Discord or something, because again, that's her property. So right now we're gonna go into our first video, because I feel like this amazing, wonderful gentleman has much better things to talk about and say than me reading from a Wikipedia page. And again, you can see the banner. We're not supposed to say that word out loud, so we will be referring to them as Sallies or Sallies. So if you're like, who's this Sally bitch? That's who we're talking about. And again, this channel is Navajo Traditional Teachings. Let's full screen it. Oh, dang it. Messing up my life. It's been a day, y'all. The energies need to figure their shit out. Like, seriously. Okay, let's full screen it. And here we go. And for some of this, he does speak, is it not? I don't remember what the name of it's called. He speaks in his Navajo language. But then he talks in both. You'll see. Okay, I'm sorry. It's been a day. Let's play.
Reasons where our people did the net when individuals of any background, they don't have to be Navajo, they can be other tribes or even white people or black people, when they begin to ask about the ways of the Diné in skinwalkers and other witchcraft and the black arts and that, we get suspicious of anyone, because if you begin to learn just a little bit, that interest in learning will grow, and eventually you will be recruited by the evil one, and you will help the demons and that to spread the things that are wrong, and you will be in a position to cast evil spells and to say evil prayers and to say evil things against people, to do ugly things to society and to the people that we love around us. That's why the net don't like to share that type of information with anyone. Teneni tini can dig at Yashin. Oh, like it at because Anthony teacher. One of the reasons where our people did the net when individuals of net in skinwalkers and other began to learn by the evil against people. Why the net?
Hey, Raven, pause a second.
Yeah, sorry. I hit the back button. Sorry. It's been a day. What's up, girl?
I just want to put this out here. I cannot understand him myself. I speak Muskogee Creek. So,
okay. Yeah, like I said, he
just like you, I won't be able to understand him without English.
Yeah, no, he does go back to English, but he, like, you can see at the bottom, there's here, let me play it. So we see the red line and the green coming across it. So that's for the duration. He's speaking in his native language, which I think is beautiful and amazing. Because keep in mind, indigenous people were not allowed to speak their own language at one time. So I find it, like, I love that, he's speaking in his native language.
I just wanted to put that out there because some people, think it's one language. There's about 500.
Yeah, there's so many different ones. No. Oh, yeah. All right.
That's it.
Okay.
You got Yashin. Oh, like it got because Anthony teacher. Okay, but I had the Nisa. I couldn't, but Ninigi, I had but on the got an indeed, Ninigi, I don't think at Ante at the crush. That 80 got I had to be beholden. I don't think at the gate. I don't call out of the barco need barco Winston or the fan, and it's on the that is card now, don't she? You get it now. I had but easy, but Nika. What able shaving and Kenny Bank as I would net though. In the traditional teachings of our people, the
Yeah, let me pause real quick to say again, the banner scrolling on the bottom. We can't say it. We're not going to say it, especially Creek, because she's got one running around in her backyard. People in the videos will be saying it, which even to me is somewhat precarious. I saged before stream. I'm going to sage and do all that stuff again after stream. But Creek and I will be saying Sally's. So again, that's what's scrolling at the bottom.
teachings about demons and the evil one and how they are able to operate among us as the five-fingered being. The evil one is the actual person or being that is in charge of all of the other evil beings, and those are the demons. And the evil one actually has his origin as known as the Black Yei or Yei Shin, and his primary goal is to be an obstacle, to be an opposition, or the adversary to the things that are good, that are made good by the holy people and given to us. And he does everything in his power to make sure that he has some way perverted their effort. And the demons are the ones that help him, and they are not physical in any way beings, but they do have influence over so many of the things that are around us in a physical setting.
And that's what I'm always saying. Like, and he'll go into this here in a little bit, but there truly are many, if you want to call them forces, entities, demons, evil spirits, even people that have, died and they're stuck here and they're angry and whatever. Again, things I have no words for and I can't or don't know how to describe. There are things from different dimensions. Like, sometimes ignorance is bliss. There's a lot of wild stuff out there, and I want to do a whole stream on what makes you susceptible to that and things you can do to sort of balance yourself and protect yourself. But yeah, there's a lot.
Stick to the unknown for all of it.
Yeah, and I have a lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, do you run around on the astral plane? And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I'm good on my body. I don't want to go popping out of my body yet. And like, even just the shit that's here on our plane is wild. You don't need to be running around the astral plane. And I've known some people that are like, I'm going to go running around, and they regret it because, listen, that is equivalent to Chantal being like, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. You're not prepared, man. Like, it's
you're
not
never
a good
prepared
idea
for anything you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Especially non-human.
Oh, yeah. And you want to talk about something following you back home or trying to fuck your life up? Go fucking running around the astral plane. Nope. Not for me. I'm good. Hey, Blondie. Witty came in. Illyria. Jessica MG. Kat. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. And again, we're going to be calling tonight's topic Sally. It's on the little banner.
And Creek has tried to fix the fire alarm. It didn't work.
Yeah, so again, when
so
she's
I'll
not
be
talking,
muted unless I'm talking.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can do things that are of the supernatural nature and actually have an effect on us as the five-fingered being. Is what we are told. And the demons actually have about 4 different names that we apply to them as the way that they have power. And the witchcraft is one of them. And Atakash is another one. Ante is another one. There's a 4th one that I don't like to give a name to. And that is more of a physical type of an attack. on the human body. If you are weak in a spiritual way, or an emotional way, or in a mental way, when those are combined, they can attack you. And it is that what they can inflict upon you is actually physical illnesses, and that can deteriorate your body.
That is, again, so extremely true. I need to redo a past stream again. It's going to include like what makes you susceptible. But I know I've heard, how many stories have we heard, especially those of us that watch true crime? And Ruthie, we are not using that word. That's why scrolling is a code word for it, because we're not supposed to say it. How many times have we heard stories of people referring to a person that attacked them, or they saw attack somebody, or was in a state and they were altered by drugs, alcohol, untreated mental illness, anger issues? Yeah, absolutely makes you susceptible. It's inviting in the worst of the worst, and that's often how people get attachments and have bad influences and such, because they do.
Well, even with the one,
Go ahead.
even with the one I've been dealing with, everybody's health's gotten worse.
Yeah. Yep. You have it becomes a daily fight.
Absolutely.
To where it's almost nothing. And so those are the type of powers that they actually have. But in modern times, and that the influence and that the evil ones have, they take any type of form. They come in all sizes and shapes, either as physical five-fingered beings, or even material type of things, to distract us. And that is the main thing, is the adversary is always making the effort to distract us from the things that are right and good. And so it is that we have, in our own traditional teaching, what we have is the skinwalker. The skinwalkers are actually, they are actual beings or people, the five-fingered being that have great knowledge of the dark side. And they are able to do the flatline, and to actually be between here and the next world, and in spirit form, and able to do things to get around and do the evil that they can do. And that is very evil in so many ways. And so those are the ones that we call Yenans Doshi. And I don't like to talk about it, and the Net don't like to talk about it. It is that they have control over so many things in the world today. The demonic influence on that is available, or we have, and it is always for distraction. And one of the main things that they attack in our present world and among our Dene is the family. The families are also.
I just want to add real quick, what he's saying is 100% true. And what many people don't realize is that the onset of attachments and these negative, evil, demonic, spiritual energy influences, it's often starts very subtle and very quiet, and that's what can make it so dangerous. Is oftentimes the person and people around them, you don't even realize it's happening. It's not this big, loud, violent thing in most cases. It's often very subtle. So you just, hey Kate Winslet, like trigger warning, a lot of different types of abuse can be. It's often a very quiet thing.
Always under some type of influence by the evil one and demonic forces. And so we have their efforts to make our families not stable, not united. And it is that they have that influence. And so it destroys the family. Is the most important thing among the Ne. And that is that our families are the most important things to us as an individual. That not only means our mothers and fathers and the brothers and sisters, our aunts and uncles, grandfathers and grandmothers in our own individual family unit, but it also means the kinship families. Is the clan relationships and that we have. That's how far this is family unit goes among our people. The nene lini is the way that we are told is anybody that recognizes themselves as a person that had an existence before coming to this earth and a person that is now on the surface of Mother Earth who recognizes themselves as a five-fingered being and as a child of the holy people. The is what we are told. And even our songs and our prayers and that explain that to us. And so the idea that we have an adversary and all of the things that we have to experience in life, we always have a choice to follow the adversary or to follow the holy people.
Mhm.
And the holy people always have a way for us to deal with these problems. Among our Diné, we have protection songs, we have protection prayers.
Aw.
Those are the things that we can have other people perform for us. But on our own, we can have our own protection prayer. We can have our own protection song. But those are the things that we can make for ourselves. And it is that we establish it actually by prayer. When you have prayers, you can have those songs. You can have those protection songs and protection prayers and protection way. And sometimes people may wear the jewelry that protects them. And they also can have herbs or
Saying that makes me think of like like a talisman. If some people wear a cross, some people might have a family heirloom or anything that you wear. I'd say on a regular basis that has some sort of meaning that's been given or passed down to you, or even you purchase on your own, but you find yourself drawn to it and you're wearing it every day. Like, how many guys have like their lucky baseball cap and whatnot? Your energies, it goes into that. And I've had so many people just be like, I don't know why, but I wear this bracelet every day and I just feel better when I wear it. And it's like my lucky charm or something. It's a talisman, and I feel like that relates to what he's describing. And I love the message he's conveying about, like, everything starts at home with the family, and even if it's not your blood relatives, we all have that chosen family around us, and that really is key in just keeping you balanced and whole overall. And through that, it's like a form of protection, like people may not even realize.
A lot of people will wear signs of protection, especially going to graveyards or funerals, really heavy places,
Mhm.
or carry sage with them before they go.
Yeah. And if you can't find sage, and if you want to purchase sage, purchase it from a reputable um indigenous retailer of it. Like, I'm sure the attic will have some, but there's some places locally, because it's abundant here in Nevada. But if you're gonna buy it online or from around you, just make sure. I've always been told to uh buy sage or sweetgrass and whatnot that's been harvested, collected, and properly processed by um native retailers. So, because
If I
there's
can find them, I'll link it in Discord.
Mhm.
But it's a native tribe that sells it. They also sell cigarettes. That's how I know of.
Mm. Yeah, I
But
I
they're from
smoke
out your way.
I smoke native brand cigarettes. So it's like no additives. Yeah, there's
It may be them.
it might be. And there's I think it's called Crazy Crow or something that I've purchased from over the years. And there's alternatives too. If you can't find sage to burn, there are alternatives. You can do cedar, rosemary. There's a whole bunch. Again, I'm sure we'll post it in the Discord. And we'll be sure to drop a link to it. Here, I'll go grab one.
They might have tadotine, or inside of their corn pollen pouch, they might carry certain things that are there to protect them from the evil one. The dots eat eda, dots eat at eda. Is what we are told, that he does not take any sides, as far as to say that he never will take the good side. He will always pick the evil side and try to influence us. And so there are many things in that are very dangerous to us. Things are invented for good purposes, and they will pervert those good purposes and make them useful for evil intent. There's a lot of technology today that's available to our young people, and some of that is not very good at all. It will control everything that they do and what they think and what they say, and even the clothes they wear, the food they eat, and the things that they will watch as far as in their environment. And that's how much power the evil one has. Is that what we are told? And that means that he has great influence and great powers. And we think that they are normal, but they are not. And so there's such things as infatuation with aliens, infatuation with Bigfoot. These things are all distractions. And people think that sometimes they are cute cartoon characters and cartoon things. But it is that they are actually real. But they are made real by the power of the evil one and the influence that he has, and the way that the demons are able to carry these distractions out.
I've said before, I'll say it again. If, like, and I use this as a perfect example, Slender Man started as a creepy pasta story, right? But that is a great example. I believe that if enough people believe in it, give it their energy, especially their soul, their psychic energy, it does manifest, maybe not into something that is necessarily physical like you and I, but putting all these people putting their belief and their energy, and we all know the story of those girls in middle school and going after the other girl and all that. It does manifest it into a form of sorts where it didn't exist before, if that makes sense.
The more power you put into something, the bigger it gets, whether it becomes physical or not.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's very powerful and it's very real. And I don't like to give any more credit to it than that, but just be aware. And that's what they tell us in the traditional way. Observe and watch and learn. And then when you learn it, then you understand it and you learn how to avoid it. And be sure and be able to have your own protection song, your own protection prayer, and carry things that on you that remind you that you are the child of holy people and that they will protect you. And if you depend on them. And those are the things that we are told.
I love Wally. Like, y'all know how I feel about Papa Maxwell. I feel like Wally is like, I would refer to him as like grandfather. Again, been watching this channel, Navajo Traditional Teachings. Let me grab a link. Because I wasn't anticipating sharing this video, but I felt like I should. Because I think it kind of sets up where we're about to go as far as, you know, putting your energy into things that not everything is physical, but like it exists, you know, like I'm not finding the words. Help me out, Creek.
He was very good at explaining exactly how things can attach, what exactly they are. He's
Yes.
very good at that, and he's very good at coming across of how important it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I adore him. I adore that channel. Again, I've been watching it over the years. All right, let me find my playlist again, because y'all, it's been a day. How's everybody doing? Thank you for being here. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks for
So
putting up with the newbie to StreamYards.
yes, y'all, this is the first time Creek has ever been up on a stream with anybody. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. I know it can be kind of like nerve-wracking.
Well, it's no problem.
Oh,
I just couldn't figure it out.
I know, and we're both running a little late, so
We
okay,
got here.
You
I
know
just
what?
don't have a PFP.
Yeah, it's shit happens when you're live streaming, man. Like, and you get through it. So this next channel we're gonna watch, again, he is native. I believe he is Navajo, and I came across this guy whilst doing research and was like, wow, he is not only gonna talk about Sally's, y'all, this dude is getting trained to hunt them down and take them out. So the link to his channel I just put in the description. And whew,
Yeah, he's gonna be an amazing one to listen to. But this is very rare to find anyone that will tell you how they train to fight them.
yeah, exactly. I was like, whoa. So again, we're referring to them as Sally's because you're not supposed to name them.
And Creek
But
is trying to get away from one, so
well, one of the videos we're gonna watch is how to defend yourself from them. But first, we are going to watch which video is? I think it was this one. So he like did one video on it, and because his channel is at like 9,000 subscribers, it's called SHANCLEN Shadow Productions, and he did one video and had such a demand. He's like doing a whole series on his channel now. He's absolutely great. Links are in my description to his videos. I put his channel link in the chat. And this first one we're going to watch. Yeah, I think it's this one. I've got 4 of his. So I'm like, which one? Yeah, it's this one. Oh, this creeps me out. Okay. Ooh, are we ready? Everybody shake it out. Center your energy. Ooh, I feel like I have a fresh mosquito bite, so that's great. Oh, and quick announcement. Because it stream's a little different today, so I'm all out of sorts. I will not be doing my usual Sunday stream because I'm going to stream on Halloween. It's going to be just like a laid back, chill, fun stream. Probably at least, 2-3 hours. I'm going to find a bunch of fun stuff to watch. I'm going to do a members only stream, like pre-stream. So that's going to be fun. So if on Halloween you're not going out doing anything, or you get home and you just kind of want to chill or whatever, we'll be hanging out here. I might delve into some H.H. Holmes. We'll delve into like Halloween, the origins of it, various things to do with that. We can watch some funny stuff. I want to see what I can find that's like copyright free or public. domain.
We will
Sorry,
get rid of
Steph.
pumpkin spice.
Nope. Pumpkin spice. Long live the pumpkin spice.
It will be November 1st, which means it is officially Christmas.
I know Mariah Carey's thought out. I know. Listen, let me live 2 months out of the year, girl. Let me live my life.
I've been letting you live.
I know. I hate it. Creek hates pumpkin spice, so we've been giving
Creek
each
hates
other
pumpkin.
time. And they started it early this year. They started it August 24th. Oh, Public, yes, Public. Illyria Sam.
Well, I will be happy when it leaves.
Soon. Although the other day I told the girl, I was like, oh, because I've been doing the pumpkin cream chai tea latte. I haven't had one actual pumpkin spice thing. And I asked the girl, I was like, oh, these are gonna be leaving like next week for all the Christmas drinks. And she's like, oh no, they should be around till Christmas. And I was like, no, please don't. I need a serious
I
pumpkin
think it's time
cream.
to boycott Starbucks.
I need an intervention, man. These pumpkin cream chai tea lattes are an issue. And I happened to get a video in my YouTube shorts feed on how to make them at home. So I'm like, oh no. All right.
See, even YouTube knows how obsessed you are with pumpkin spice. So clearly
Girl,
it needs to leave.
I had advertisements for a Dexcom in my shit the other day. Explain that to me. I was like, okay.
Hey, I don't have a Dexcom. That sounds like you was looking up stuff.
But the thing is that I texted it to you and now I'm getting advertisements for it. So
All right, well, you don't get one because we don't want you to have the diabetes.
diabetes. We'll send it to Chantal in Kuwait. Good Lord. Yes, I know. I said that just for you. If y'all don't know, it's because GP can't say words right, and he says public instead of public. But that's a demonic entity we'll talk about another day. Okay.
Steph
The
loves us.
shade.
She knows she does.
The Kruger, an older woman that likes younger guys, not a cougar, a Kruger. Again, demonic entity for a different day. So this is SHANCLEN Shadow Productions. And this video is called, it's a couple under that, The Truth of Sally's. This one is called Stories from the Navajo Nation. We're going to watch this. And then after this one, we're going to watch the How to Defend Yourself one. And both of these are very good. Links are in my description. All right. Everybody, emotional support tacos. I'm going to light some more incense as this plays because I'm getting like creeped out. It's okay. We're good. We're all here together. Okay, let's go.
That's crazy shit. It's calling me like it's goddamn. What's up, dude?
This is SKINWALKERS.
Hello. Yo, what the? Watch its back start to stretch.
Creepy.
Raven, pause a second.
Yeah, I was like, clearly some of this is like CG.
Several
and
of
fake.
these are fake, but
Yes.
it reminded me. They can mock people you know, and they can look human. I forgot last week I was walking around the back of my house and it happened to me.
I'm sorry. What?
I thought it was somebody else at first, but when I got around back, they were sitting around back on their phone. Hush. Yeah, that reminded me of that.
Oh, yeah, it's.
I told you they've been getting closer.
Well, that's why we're gonna watch the How to Defend Yourself and like, I don't know. I don't know if this guy has an
prayers and holy
email.
water.
Oh, but a flamethrower. Girl, I'll come out with my rival. Oh, just keep feeding
I don't
me
personally
pumpkin
have
cream.
a flamethrower. I don't have Elon Musk money to buy his flamethrower. If he decides to sell a poor person version, I might get it.
Well, maybe if you ask nicely, GC will come and protect you with her Swiffer tits. She can just, you know.
She probably knows them. They're probably supposed to be in the crypt together.
They both done escaped the crypt. So yeah, so just disclaimer, we fully realize like some of the stuff he's showing in the beginning is not, he's making a YouTube video.
You can pretty much tell what's fake and what's not.
Yeah, the very first one where it's like sunset.
These little alien things are very much fake.
Oh yeah. But the first one where the guy's running around and it's just the silhouette in the middle of a field and he's like, help me, that. I've seen that several times and it freaks me the fuck out.
That one's very much real. And it's similar to what happened to me, except for they were standing still.
Oh my God.
And yelling my name.
Jeez. Oh.
This one's going to be a doozy for sure. Let me just tell you that these are not skinwalkers. Everything you know about skinwalkers is a lie, except for the very few of you who actually kind of know what you're talking about. Now, this video is going to be the first of my paranormal series. So there's going to be a lot more paranormal investigations, more stories, more talks about my experiences that I've had in the paranormal. So this first subject that we're going to cover is the Yanagloshi, or best known as by everybody around the world as skinwalkers. Hey everybody, my name is SHANCLEN and welcome to another episode of SHANCLEN Shadow Productions. So this one's going to be a little bit different from my niche, but not really different from who I am. So this one's going to be a different segue into my paranormal side of my channel. So this is going to be the very first episode I'm going to be going over, and I have to say I have seen a lot of misinformation out there about the subject I'm going to be covering. I've been traveling on the YouTubes, the TikToks, the Instagrams, and I've been seeing a lot of videos about how people try to tell stories about skinwalkers.
Here, for example, in this video, we see a skinwalker who has taken on the form of a man.
Hey, neighbor.
In fact, skinwalkers are basically wizards who've killed their loved ones.
Now, I know a lot of you out there have heard stories or even claimed to have seen it.
I really like this guy because he's, again, like I said, he's actually training, like we'll go into that video next, to hunt these things down, like track them, hunt them down, and take them out, which I have a lot of questions about. We'll get into that in that next video here. Let me put him up to 1.25 so we're not here forever in a day. The ADHD is real. All right.
Skinwalker in their lives. And I have to say that maybe like 80% of you are wrong. Let me explain. So I know a lot of word has been spread across the United States, across all Turtle Island, and even the world about skinwalkers and the lores and the legends of it. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. They get some things right here and there, but I noticed that they miss a lot of stuff. And, I honestly don't blame them. It's a hot topic. They're not from these lands, and so they do their best to get what they can from Google and do the research online. And so I'm here to set the story straight. And now I know on our previous channel, Unearthing the Supernatural, we've kind of covered the subject a lot. But here I'm going to do it officially.
Oh, and side note, Creek and I had a very long conversation yesterday, and we both agreed that Sally Walker Ranch needs a ton of research. We're
It's
gonna go
too much
hard.
to add in this
Yeah.
stream.
We're gonna go hardcore on that. That deserves its own stream, which easily is gonna be like 3 hours. So I don't want to wait too long between this one and that one. So that will be coming on its own shortly in the future, but that is a whole other bag of beans, because I also want to cover the side of it where people claim to have debunked it, because we look at all sides of the pancake here.
We figured best to get an understanding of them first before we deep dive into that one place.
Sarah Kay, if you would like to help with that, absolutely you can help. I will take all the help I can get, because we all know Raven needs as much help as she can get.
Absolutely,
my
Sarah.
channel.
Because
So,
I'd be sick.
where does this Skinwalker come from? Where does the Yanagloshi come from? Where do they hail? Where do they live? Hell, might even know what they eat. Just kidding. But Skinwalkers and Yanagloshis originate from the Navajo Nation. Hundreds of years ago, medicinal people used to go to our 4 sacred mountains that border the Navajo Nation, 2 in Colorado, 1 in Arizona, and 1 in New Mexico. Now, these medicinal people would have to traverse the land very quickly to be able to do this ceremony within a couple days. So the spiritual people taught these medicinal men how to shapeshift, how to turn into animals, how to turn into deer, how to turn into coyotes, how to turn into hawks. And so they use this power to be able to traverse the land for good, to do really good medicinal ceremonies, to be able to help patients. And in the old sacred way, they used to do this. But to be able to learn how to shapeshift was a very, very, very hard task and was not easy to do. So what people used to have to do, they used to spend years of their life learning the songs, going through ceremonies to be able to learn how to shapeshift into these animals. Now, there's a lot of people that were out there who were like, man, this is taking too long. I can't do this. I can't stick with this. Now, when that happened, evil and darkness heard their voice as well, heard their prayers, searching for an easier way to do this. Darkness and evil said, come here. I know how to make you shapeshift real easy, but there's a couple things that you have to do to be able to obtain this power. So some people were just like, well, what do you have to do? There's certain steps and ceremonies you have to do to be able to learn how to shapeshift the way we do. First off, you have to sacrifice a loved one, an immediate loved one. Whether that be your lover, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, or your child, or your grandparents. Somebody that you love and hold close and dear to your heart. You have to take them out into the reservation, into the darkness, and you would have to sacrifice them to be able to first step and to obtain this power.
That's a lot. Like, that makes me think Illuminati. That makes me think Wendy. Like, there's that's a lot. Wow. Why?
Well, several tribes up until the 20th century still performed blood sacrifices.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's seems like a definite gateway, huh? That's wild. I'm kind of overwhelmed. I'm gonna let it play.
Now, I know this is really dark. This is really gruesome, but this is the truth of how Yanagloshi is going to be. So there's some other steps that you have to take that I'm not going to actually disclose to you, because a lot of that is very gruesome, and I'm not going to go into detail because a lot of it we're going to keep sacred here. But Once you complete all these tasks, you're able to learn how to shapeshift into evil and darkness.
Jeez.
Now, a lot of things that everyone seems to forget is where these skinwalkers come from. The Navajo Nation itself holds a lot of sacred power within its borders, and a lot of songs and ceremonies that tie into the mountains, the land, the sky, and its geological point where it's at. So a lot of times, if you were to be a skinwalker, you draw power from the natural landscape that you're at. Now, am I saying that there couldn't be a possibility of a skinwalker leaving the...
So that reminds me of like grounding. Like there's a reason why, you know, and I understand there can be a certain stereotypical view of people, but like when I'm really off balance, I will literally, there's a tree in front of my house. It's a silver oak, and I love that tree. I've been in this house for 9 years, and I will literally go hug that bitch and be like, girl, help me. And there truly is benefit to grounding yourself, bare feet in the grass, in the sand, in the dirt, and talking to, you know, again, Mother Earth, or if you want to call her Gaia, she is sentient. You know, talking to her, grounding, connecting to her, having that exchange of energy. And this is one of the many reasons I've always had so much love and respect for the native people and cultures and their history, because I think, like, y'all know the truth of it. How many people are like, oh yeah, well, they talk about the star people and like how we came to be, and it can, of course, it's an oral tradition, a quote unquote story. There is so much truth in it.
Well, if you look at some of the other stories, you have the moon-eyed people. That's a very big thing in the, I believe it was Northwest Native communities.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Scooby's on one.
Yeah, he is. I'm going to mute.
Okay.
the Navajo Nation? No. If they're really pretty high skilled enough to be able to leave the Navajo Nation, say go to the East Coast or learn how to shapeshift over there, use the mountain terrain over there and everything, yes, it's possible, but very, very unlikely. So what are some of the traits of a skinwalker? What are the things they can and cannot do? Can they turn into an elephant? Yeah, maybe, but you know, they have to go and hunt and kill an elephant, wear its skin, and do the whole ceremony. Yes, they can turn into animals, they can shapeshift into anything, almost anything really, but they would have to be able to kill the animal, skin it, mark it up with its markings and designs, put it through its own ceremonies and rituals to be able to prep it to be able to be worn and shapeshift into. Now, I've seen a lot of videos of people out there saying like their dog, you know, looks weird, or there's, you know, all these other things like a poodle or something small. To be honest, Skinwalker is not going to skin a poodle, put it on its back, and be able to shapeshift into it. It's possible, but you know, it's going to be very hard to be able to shrink down to that size. Typically, the coyote, the buck, the wolf are the main skins that were readily available in the Navajo Nations.
Yeah.
So there's also the bear, the mountain lion as well, but those are sacred animals, and a lot of times those themselves could not be changed into the darkness. So you rarely see those being able to be used in
Interesting.
Skinwalker regalia or outfit. Coyotes and bucks and deer were mainly the skins used because there were plenty of those in the Navajo Nation. For those of you out there who have seen videos of people hearing their voices being mimicked in the distance, yes, that is a true thing that actually happens. Another tactic that the Skinwalkers like to use is dog whistles. So for those of you out there that don't know, the Navajo Nation is a very rural area. Homes are very spread out. Your nearest neighbor is a mile to a half mile away. So you're kind of out there by yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
That shit is so scary, and you will never forget it if it happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because
What the?
it's the mimicking. Because it
The
sounds
mimicking.
just like the person you know. You
So
would never be able to tell difference.
does it sound like them? But like, are you personally picking? I mean, obviously, you know that there's one stalking you and your family right now.
Because I know what it is
Mm-hmm.
and that there's been one stalking. I'm more aware of it. But
Yeah.
say you was lost in the woods, a lot of times they'll mimic somebody you're with
Oh.
to get you lost and by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, and it's such a perfect mimic. You would think it was your family member or whoever.
Do you feel like, because you experienced the mimicking the other day, do you, even though it sounds like that person, does it feel off? Does the energy of it feel not right?
It's hard to explain. It doesn't feel right. It feels almost as if you're going into a tunnel, something so dark. It's hard for me to explain. I'm not good with words.
No, it reminds me of the uncanny valley, where it's like you're looking at something and it, like 98% of it looks human, but your brain is, there's something about it that you know it's not human, but it looks. But yeah, like if you know
It's
what
like
the
that.
uncanny valley is, yeah, reminds me of that. Now,
But I felt it pretty much in my soul because it was deep in my chest.
yeah, so you're picking
That
up on the
something
energy
wasn't
of
right.
it. Yeah, so you're picking up on the energy of it. He'll probably
needs
go
to go
into
away.
it, but the dog whistle thing, like I've always, heard people are like, oh yeah, my auntie and my grandma said don't whistle after dark because you'll call a Sally to you.
You don't whistle at the dark, and you never whistle in the woods.
Okay. Well, I hate the woods, and this is one of the many reasons why. We all know Raven hates the fucking woods. There's so much shit in the woods. Nope, I'm good. I'll be in the desert with the sagebrush in my Sorrento with my rival, Anna Winston, and iced pumpkin cream chai tea latte. I'm just saying. Oh,
I'm gonna
all right.
write a letter to Starbucks.
You can send a letter to the Raven Star complaint department if you'd like.
See if I won't.
And typically in the Navajo Nation homestead, you'll always have dogs, either sheep herding dogs or protection dogs. And dogs are very attuned to when darkness comes around, that the protectors of the home. So late at night when you're by yourself in your hogan, there's no one around, and your dogs start barking in the middle of the night. But then they stop. You're like wondering, like, why did my dog start barking? One tool that these skinwalkers use is dog whistles. They use these whistles, or bone whistles more specifically. They use these whistles to be able to hush up the dogs, to be able to sneak in close to the home. And then they put these powders, they do these songs and these ceremonies to be able to put your animals and protectors to sleep. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone out there in the Navajo Nation knows, and if you're watching this, I'm sure you have stories being home late at night, sleeping, and then you hear footsteps on your roof. You hear rattles.
No,
You hear
ma'am.
growls. You hear scratching on your door. For those of you out there, if you were to go to the Navajo Nation, I'm pretty sure about 90% of everybody on the Navajo Nation has experienced a Yanagloshi in their life. So, what are some of the weapons that the Skinwalker uses? A Skinwalker typically uses...
And don't be like those idiots in movies and go check. Do not move. You stay where you are. Don't be like the horror movie idiots.
Don't be like
stay.
the dumb white people in the horror movies that are like, I heard a noise outside. Let me go check unarmed.
Absolutely not. You stay put.
Yep.
Okay. That's all.
Right. Oh my God. Okay. Whew.
is natural based
And welcome in, Kayla. How you doing, hon?
elements weapons. So a skinwalker is typically known as a grave robber or a Navajo witch, but there's a lot more to it. So typically a lot of the weapons are based off of natural elements. They're grave robbers. They go to the cemeteries, they dig up bodies, they grab the bones, and if they're still decaying, sometimes they use the flesh. A lot of the flesh from the human bones and body can be used as poisons to be able to bring sickness onto the people. So they make bone knives, bone darts. They grind up the bones after they collect them to make this powder. And it is said that these Yanagloshis can paralyze you. Another one of their powers that they have. They can come up to you and paralyze you, and you can't do anything about it. And they grab that ground up bone powder and they blow it in your face. And if you don't get a ceremony soon,
I never heard of that one, and that reminds me of in South America, there's this certain plant, I forget what it's called, but it's how they will like kidnap and assault a lot of like women and stuff. Is it's this certain, if anyone knows the name, please put it in chat. It's super potent, and they put a little in their hand and they blow it, and it just like paralyzes you. It's like the same shit that freaks
They
the
do it to
thought
a
of the-
lot of tourists too, so they can rob them.
Yep. Yeah, I listen, I know the reputation of Vice, but I watched like a whole 45-minute like little mini Vice doc on YouTube about it, and I was, no ma'am. Oh,
And they don't remember anything. They can't.
yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
No, T-Girl, it's not Nightshade. It's something completely different.
I'll see if I can find it on this phone.
All right. And noted, dude brothers. Thank you.
that is a curse that is put upon you, and you will die. It's very, very powerful. So everybody out there, be sure to watch out. So what other abilities do the Skinwalkers have? Other than paralyzing you, they have incredible speed. There's a lot of reports on the reservation of people driving on dirt roads going 50 to 75 miles an hour, or even 100 depending on what kind of road you're on. Not a lot of cops out there. But while these people are driving in the middle of the night coming back home from work or hauling wood, there are reports and signs of people running alongside their vehicles in the middle of the night. And the only thing that can run that fast and out there is the Yanagloshi.
Nope. Absolutely not. The only other time I've heard a story similar to that is if we all remember Glam and Gore, aka Mikey, her manager, they were out in the New Jersey woods waiting for the New Jersey Devil, and her manager at the time had a story where he was driving on the road and looked over, and there was this creature keeping pace with him at 65 miles an hour, and he says it was the Jersey Devil. And I would drive, y'all know I used to have a job. I drive between Reno and Sacramento for work, and there were so many times because I'd be on I-80, and you're going through the Sierra Nevada mountains, the Tiobe Forest, I believe, is the section up there, like Tiobe, Tahoe, all that. And there were times there were no other vehicles, nothing visually around me, but it felt like there was something chasing my vehicle or keeping pace with me doing 65, 70 miles an hour. And I would feel it, and then it would like go away. And then 45 minutes down the road, 50 miles later, I would get this feeling again. I was more scared I was gonna break down at 2 a.m. in the middle of the fucking woods up there and be stuck than driving in blizzard whiteout conditions. I was more scared of that.
I found the drug.
Okay. What's it called? Can you pronounce
Devil's
it?
Breath. It's
Okay.
The nickname is Devil's Breath. I'm going to spell it because I cannot say it.
Okay, hold on. Let me write it down, and then I will. Can you text it to me, and
Yeah.
I'll look it up? Okay, perfect. Yeah, and then I can like Google it or whatever, and we can pull it up and look at it because it is just like a little sidebar. It is fascinating. All right.
So who am I to talk about skinwalkers? Who am I to say what is and what isn't about a skinwalker? I know what a skinwalker is because we've dealt with them for many years. I've even had distant family relatives put on the skins and become a Yanagloshi. A couple ceremonies we've went out to families' homesteads to get rid of items of dead past relatives. And inside those items were Yanagloshi regalia, skins, antlers, weapons, bone knives, bones itself, inside their belongings. So I know what skinwalkers can do.
I do have a video of his pulled up we could watch after this one in the How to Defend Yourself, titled Discovering Ancient Sally Skins. So let me know if you guys want to dip into that because this guy's good.
Do to a person. Now, I know you're not supposed to go out and talk about Yanagloshis or speak about Yanagloshis, but unless you know how to handle them. So I've had a lot of encounters with skinwalkers growing up, from a little kid staying out at my great-grandmother's house to hearing them in the middle of the nights running out on a roof, knocking on the door, and copying our family members' voices from the outside to help draw us out. Now, these beings are very, very powerful to the normal person, but if you have the knowledge to be able to defend yourself against these monsters, you'll be all right. One of the biggest tools that these skinwalkers have against you is fear itself. Fear is their biggest tool that they have to be able to paralyze you, to gain control of you. And I know, middle of the night, you're by yourself on the reservation, and out there in the darkness, you see a figure stand up. You see a coyote stand up on its 2 feet. I know it's very terrifying. You got to be a very special person to not be terrified of that. But there's a lot of protections that you can use to be able to protect yourself in your home. Ash is one of the big things that you can use from a fire after you pray with it, after you put cedar down, to put on yourself and around your home as well. There's a lot of ceremonial objects that a lot of indigenous people have that they use in ceremonies that can be used to protect yourself in your home. Utilize these paraphernalia, utilize your jish to be able to protect yourself and your families out there. So for everyone out there, if you see a TikTok video or a YouTube video about people talking about skinwalkers outside of the Navajo Nation, take it with a grain of salt. Because more than likely, it's similar to a skinwalker. It may be a shapeshifter. It may be, who knows, there might be a doppelganger out there, or even another spiritual being out there that can mimic voices. But if you see your poodle doing something weird and you live, all the way in Florida, New York, or Washington, D.C., it's probably not a skinwalker. It's probably your dog just being weird. Now,
I love that he mentions Washington, D.C. No, it's just if you live between Washington, D.C. and Indiana, don't worry. It's just D.C. media girl. Her name's. If you see a bald, hunched over creature blaming everyone else for their problem, it is not Sally. It's just Niggs. And yeah, oops,
Dragging
I
a
said
corpse behind it that should have
Mhm.
died in 1884.
You can hear it coming as it drags its swiffer tits along the ground.
no, this video isn't going to stop everybody from making false claims about what skinwalkers actually are, Yanagloshis. But maybe you'll be able to use this video to bring some light into your eyes and to be a little bit more skeptical about things that you see on the internet. A lot of times I've just had enough, seeing too many TikTok videos, too many YouTube videos about people claiming to see skinwalkers or know the history when they actually never lived it, when they've never actually been to our nation, when they've never actually heard the stories from our own people. They just did a quick Google search.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone out there, be safe. Here's a quick story of a Yanagloshi, and there's going to be more stories, more adventures on my paranormal journey. This is SHANCLEN from SHANCLEN Shadow Productions signing off. I'll go on it, everybody. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next
Yay.
one. Oh, and I'll go on it.
I love him. Oh my God. I love him. Okay. So Creek found what I was talking about. Let me share this tab, make sure I'm good. Yes. So it's called scopolamine, also known as hyoscine or devil's breath, natural or synthetically produced tropane alkaloid, anticholinergic drug that is used as medication to treat motion sickness and post-operative nausea and vomiting.
Wait a second.
Wait, no, this is the right one.
No, I use
What?
this in a patch for nausea.
Are you sure?
I knew
Wait,
it looked familiar.
Well, because yeah, you and I take the same anti-nausea medication. I forget what it's called. It like dissolves under your tongue.
I take Zofran, but then I
Yeah.
take that. It's on a patch. They
Mhm.
normally give it for the motion sickness for people who get on cruises and stuff.
So
I knew that word looked familiar.
So it's got to be like a really high dose. That they're using. So yeah, just a little interesting tidbit. We'll look into that more in the future, but yeah, that is a thing. So I really dig this dude. Again, links to his channel and his videos are in my description because he's on it. Okay, I'm real excited for this next one because again, he is, and he's being trained by what he refers to as a guardian to track, hunt down, and dispatch of Sally's, which bro's got some fucking cojones on him to be like, yeah, I'll do that. Because they're going into tunnels and shit. And I can do like a follow-up to this stream. Or you know what, better yet, just go watch this dude's channel. Because like I said, we're gonna do the Sally Walker Ranch is gonna be a whole other stream. There is so much out there on it. I'll try to do it with like in the next 4 Freaky Friday streams because I do have to redo the Denver airport. Shout out YouTube.
Because Raven likes to talk about paninis. She's
All right.
a huge fan of them. And Pokeballs, just loves
Yeah.
them.
Paninis, yeah. Pokeballs.
Sometimes they get her in trouble.
Yeah,
But
salmon
she
and
loves them.
ahi tuna. Especially my opinion on the Poke Bowls. You know that
Yes, because
those Poke
she likes
Bowls
hers
will,
away, and YouTube will, and everybody
Yeah.
else likes theirs away.
listen, those Poke Bowls will make you sick, man. Especially if
Agreed.
it's contaminated. All right. So this is the same guy. And it's, again, his series called The Truth of Sally Walkers. And this is called How to Defend Yourself for Protection Only. Are we ready? Because now we're learning more. We'll learn more about exactly what these, Sally Walkers are, how they come to be, the belief, all that stuff. They're real. I like this guy because he's just like, these things are real. Whether you want to believe it or not, they're real, and that's the way it is. And I respect that about him.
Yeah, I like him too. And he's just straightforward with the info.
And yeah, I forget who said it in the chat earlier. He do be looking cute though. He's a cutie patootie. All right, we ready? We're all gonna learn how to kick some ass. Stretch out, warm up. Here we go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of SHANCLEN Shadow Productions. Now, I've been getting a lot of comments from you guys asking questions about the stories that I've told in my previous videos, and I'm here to answer some of those questions that I have. So, one of the number one comments I always get is swords. What kind of swords do you use? What kind of weapons do you use to be able to protect yourself against the Yanagloshi? Well, I'm here to answer some of those questions here for you. But before I go ahead and do that, let me go ahead and take you back. So, where the story of the swords came from, no, traditionally, swords were not used in Native American culture until later outside sources came to the lands to introduce iron and metal to us indigenous people. Indigenous people don't go and try to harvest the land or use its ores and metals to be able to make weapons like this. We would usually use like normal stones, obsidian, to be able to make arrowheads. And if you go more down south, they use this obsidian a lot in the Aztec culture to be able to make their weapons.
Obsidian, like, is that you guys? You've all seen it. It's that, I guess, like a shiny black. I guess it's a rock. I don't know if it's like considered. I think it's considered a crystal too. There's this one guy's YouTube channel I watch where he'll get pieces of like obsidian and he'll use deer antlers and such to carve out like knives and
Arrowheads.
arrowheads. That shit is so. Take the sharpest knife you've ever used, right? Multiply that by a good 10,000, and you're getting close to how incredibly sharp obsidian is. And a lot of people will use obsidian to like absorb or block off negative energy. It's dual purpose. Oh, good heavens.
For warfare against each other and for some people that came from overseas. So now, when it comes to the weapons that we use, this goes back to our trainings early on when we were asked, what kind of weapon do you want to specialize to be able to go against the darkness? And we're like, weapon? So you can use weapons to go against spirits and kill them if necessary? So, yes. So, how my brother used to tell it is they would present a table full of weapons, so you would choose your speciality, and each weapon has its own stories. And this goes to what it talks about how we chose our swords. And a lot of you guessed it right on the comments, katanas.
Ooh.
So the katanas that we use here are very, very awesome blades, and I don't know if you'll be able to see that up close, but these things have been used over the past couple of years or so. So with this, these blades, the story goes,
Kate Winslet, I can so clearly see you wielding a katana. Kate Winslet, you absolute legend.
and you can actually find some cave drawings over in California of what we call beetle warriors that came from the seas. So a long time ago, there were some warriors that came on a ship who you came to trade with us indigenous people who are said to have armor that covered them from head to toe. And in some of these cave drawings, I'll show you some photos here. You can clearly see that they have what looks like to be beetle helmets. That's what.
So were these like Japanese samurai that came over? Because listen, again, when I say we're not being told the truth, then like we know fuck all about our actual history. First off, I would like to say with my whole chest, fuck Christopher Columbus for so many reasons. But there's proof of like the Vikings were here way back
Well,
in the fucking day.
That's what I was going to say. The first to actually come in contact with my tribe, our people, were the Vikings. 400 years before Columbus ever came to America.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Columbus was a POS. He did nothing.
He also
He should
didn't
not
land
be-
in North America. He landed in South America.
Yeah, and he was a nasty, evil person. These dudes were on ships for months. What do y'all think they were doing? What do y'all think they did when they stopped off places? Just nasty, vile, nasty. Can't fucking Columbus. Sorry, I feel some type of way about Christopher Columbus. I'm coming out about my disdain for Christopher Columbus. Okay, I feel better.
But they hence called them beetle warriors, because essentially beetles have really hard exoskeletons, so they can be able to protect themselves against predators. But in some of these drawings, you see them hold blades, you see them hold weapons, and they traded some of these weapons with the indigenous people, and they call these the crescent moon blades.
Okay.
Basically, with the curvature of the blade and how it shines in the sky, and even in the nighttime too, it shines like the moon. It shines brightly and powerful. So some of these weapons were actually used by indigenous people. Now, throughout time, they have kind of gotten lost. And here's a couple of pictures I found online. I'm not too sure if they're real or not. It would be pretty cool if they are.
Oh, shit. And side note, after World War II, the U.S. soldiers and military in Japan made so many Japanese families and people and their families, they took their like heirloom katanas and shit and they took them and threw them into the sea. Some of the soldiers brought them back home to America with them. They melted them down. The armor, like so many amazing cultural, historical heirlooms from the Japanese samurai period. Some of these families had for hundreds of years. The U.S. made them get rid of them, and it makes me want to weep at the thought of like all the history and culture and the hard work, craftsmanship, and beauty that was lost because of that. It just human beings need to do better. Ooh, I want to pause. I know it might be small, but for some of you guys, wow, that isn't even like a clear picture. Look at that. I look at this and I see so much skill and patience and artistry, and I just like, this is such a beautiful picture to me. It really is.
That right there is one of our main weapons that we use to go against darkness, to go against evil. Now, one of my weapons of speciality, and more traditionally for us indigenous people, is the bow and arrow. Now, what makes this weapon so awesome, I guess you can say, is how it's designed and made. Traditionally, in the Navajo culture and with other tribes, they have these designs that they put on the shaft.
Again, I'm sorry to pause, but I just got a pink cord notification for Josh Saunders, and I'm like, who the fuck is Josh Saunders? King Cobra, what is you doing? Kate Winslet, he changed his name to Josh Saunders. It's a weird fucking Friday, y'all. Yeah.
Does this one still make the mead though, or is that just codes?
I'm assuming if he's not saying that, unless Josh Saunders goes on a Nigs type rant where he's like, King Cobra, JFS is dead. He's in my backyard dying.
We don't think he's going to pull an eggs.
I don't know, but I was like, who the fuck is Josh Saunders? And I had to click on it. It's fucking Cobes, dude. What is happening?
They bless these weapons as well as the feathers that go on here. All these all tie into the protective abilities of these weapons and to be able to pierce into the spirit realm. Now, when it comes to the katana, a lot of people say silver is your weapon. Silver, I get the hint like a Witcher Wild Hunt, you get to use a silver sword to kill off certain type of beings. But no, this is clearly plain steel.
We all know silver bullets are for werewolves.
Carbon steel, and to be able to make literally any weapon into a weapon that can pierce into the spirit world, you need something extra. And for a lot of people out there that were saying, oh yeah, well, why don't you get like a gun or something like that? Typically a normal gun with normal bullets will not be able to bring down, say, a skinwalker.
Well, fuck. Well, shit. Does a Winston count? Does a Winston and a Jasper count? Fuck. Yeah, you gotta have the right weapon for
Just
don't get me
piss 'em
wrong.
off if you hit them with one.
What?
A bullet and they don't die.
Oh, that'd be fuck. I don't know. Like, what would I do? What would I do if I mean, granted, I'd never be out in the fucking woods, but say I was out in the desert somewhere, got stuck, right? It's like dusk or, it's dark out. And then someone pulls over and they're like, hey, do you need help? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And shit goes down. And I go, pew, pew. And the person just keeps coming at me, talking like, damn, why'd you do that? I don't know what I would do. I would definitely find the nearest dumpster and shit behind it.
That's what I can tell you is to pray, but that's not gonna stop them.
Yeah, this is why I'm like, okay, but yeah. So what if we don't? I know he talks about knives and stuff, but like, yeah, what if you don't have a katana or a knife? Or is that when you just bend over and just kiss your ass goodbye? Or we gonna find out.
You shoot a skinwalker with it, it's just going to go right through it, because it's more of
Oh.
a sense when it's in that form, it's more of a spiritual being. So one
Yep.
thing to be able to combat that, as well as protect yourself, is this ash. Ash. So this is some of the ash that I would mention to some of you guys in the comments, to where you start a fire and you begin a holy prayer with it, and you give an offering, and then you pray with it, and you let the fire burn out. And you can use pretty much any wood to be able to gather some of this ash for yourself.
Okay.
And with this ash, you're able to put it on your forehead, your chest, your heart, and your extremities as well, to be able to kind of put a little.
But what exactly does he mean by offering, though? Like, are you putting something in the fire as far as like an herb, a food, an article of something that can burn? Like, what does he mean by offering?
It's normally a traditional offering, local to the tribe, because what he has, our medicine man does on our sacred grounds.
Okay. So it's gonna vary per tribe, per region.
More than likely, yeah. Because
Okay.
I know ours is different than most out west.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Because I'm totally not taking notes so I can make some ash later. I'm just saying.
Little bit layer of protection against any spiritual being that wants to do harm to you. Now, when it comes to these arrows and other traditionally made weapons from our peoples, you don't need ash, because these symbols that are on here make it so to where you can pierce the spiritual realm if need be. So a lot of different tribes have their own herbs and medicines that they put on their weapons to be able to protect themselves. And so that goes into another aspect of what I was talking about in my very first video, to be able to protect yourself.
And so to me, doing that is like no different than saying, like there's pictures of Catholic priests blessing like military guns and whatever in the barracks, like blessing their guns and stuff. Which I'm sure, they did back in the days, the cavalry and whatnot, when our military first began and stuff. So I don't know. That just makes me think of like what, I mean, I know why, but
it's
that's
slightly
no different.
because the herbs and things that you would put on it are specific for what you need it for.
Yeah. Well,
so
my
it's the
line
same but slightly different.
My line of thinking though is like it's still a method of blessing it. So why were the indigenous people doing it viewed as like wrong and evil, but yet you have a priest or somebody basically doing the same thing, and that was acceptable? Like, that's where I'm going with it.
Because at least from how I was taught, because we didn't exactly have the same religious beliefs.
Well, yeah.
Like, we had a god. We called him Creator.
Hmm.
I think most tribes did, but I know for sure the one I'm from does.
Yeah.
Despite believing slightly similar things, that's what really caused all of that.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
most
for sure.
things, religion
Hmm.
played a part in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you do run into a skinwalker, Ash, I know a lot of you probably won't be able to have katanas on you, but Ash definitely. Whenever we go to an area that is highly negative, so a lot of you in the comments saying, "How do I protect myself if I'm going to go into the Navajo Nation? Say I'm a tourist, I'm traveling, and you want to be able to." Unfortunately, protect yourself against the evil and the dark arts out there. You get some Ash. With these things that I'm telling you, these are just from the Diné point of view, the Navajo point of view. So other tribes, like how I mentioned before, and other religions have their protections. Now, the thing I love about Ash and Tish is when I spoke with somebody about its qualities of getting against all beings and all deities, the act of starting a fire, having a fire go, is a very spiritual event that happens. So when the fire turns into a solid, it burns, and then the smoke goes up into the air. And in our teachings, when that smoke goes up into the air and it disappears, it's said to have gone into the spirit world. So if you ever meet us in person, tobacco is a very, very huge part with our Diné culture. And we have a lot of stories in our ceremonies too. When you partake of tobacco, the smoke goes inside you, and when it comes out, sometimes you're not able to word your prayer how you need it to. So the smoke, it goes inside of you. And when it comes out and then it disappears into the air, it goes into the spirit world and it knows you, it sees you, everything that's inside of you, and it takes it into the spirit world for you.
I love that he says this, because when we're not in body and we are in our what is our normal natural state, which is our energetic forms. Creek, I think I was telling you about this yesterday while we were talking. And it's a lot of times why I have such a difficult time finding the words or explaining things. When we're not in body, we don't have to find the words because we're certainly not speaking the English language. Most of the time we're not even speaking because communication is what would be considered telepathic and energetic, and it's you can describe so much more. Things are much more in depth as opposed to being in body with a human brain speaking whichever language, and some languages are more descriptive than others. And it's just words are very limited here. That's why how many times are you like, I can't describe it. I can't describe what I'm seeing in my head or I saw or what I'm feeling or what you're trying to convey.
Or it coming across the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like tone of voice, all that. It's communication here is very, very messy. And so when he said this, when I was watching this, I paused and like I had to take a minute because I know exactly what he's talking about. And words are hard.
I do want to add
Mental.
to the fire part of him. His talk.
Mhm.
So if you've never heard of it, there's a big celebration across the country called Green Corn. A lot of natives go to it because that's who
Okay.
it's for. When things like that happen, you have a fire that is stoked the entire time, and you have people from different tribes come and stoke it at different times for each community. But
Oh,
that
that's
fire stays as long as green corn is.
Oh, cool. And you're saying green corn or
Yeah, green corn.
okay. Ooh, that'd be something I'd like to learn about.
As well as when I went to UNICEF, which is a conference for natives from like 13 to 25,
Mm-hmm.
they had a small one, like in one of those little pits, because it's in Washington, D.C. When I went, can't really have a huge one. And it was stoked by each tribe that was there representing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So with that, a lot of different spiritual things happen. So that's why ash is very protective. It brings you warmth. It cooks you food. It keeps you protected at night from predators. So there's a lot of different stories and teachings that go behind this. It's a lot of natural-based elements that go with it. So this is essentially indigenous holy water for us, I guess you can say. So it's one of the very first elements that you can find in the creation of this world. So that's how far back you can go. And one thing I want to point out is when you're dealing with darker entities, you're dealing with darker beings, you have to know how old they are, because sometimes what we've come to find out, if you use more, I guess you could say, recent religions or recent remedies that just kind of came up, or laws or bylaws, a lot of times that's not going to work, because that being is older than that protection. That being is a lot older than a lot of those things.
Yep.
So it's not, I guess you can say, going to listen to what those natural remedies particularly do. So that's why we always resort to this, because fire has always been on this earth since its very creation. With these weapons, these are the ones in the stories that I mentioned we would be taken out to be able to go against these dark beings, the Yanagloshi, and other dark deities and other dark beings, which leads me to my next story. So this story I'm going to be going into is, I guess you can say, one of the first confrontations we had with skinwalkers and Yanagloshis. I remember this night we were getting ready and immediately...
Oh, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it. So yeah, we're gonna save that. I don't want to show because I think that might be in the next video we watch. Ooh, how's everybody doing? Are we hanging in there? This is a lot, but but yeah, I agree with what he says. Like Sally's, or again, like I said, there are so many entities. Like, again, I can't even describe it. There's no name for it. People don't talk about it, whatever. That they've even been around longer than the earth, right? Because a lot of these entities can be in our interdimensional, there's a lot of different factors. So they're not gonna necessarily respond or care if somebody is saying the Lord's Prayer or throwing holy water at them. That means nothing to them. And he just, I really dig this guy. But yeah, so just, that's why if you've ever watched The Dead Files, Amy, love her, adore her. I work very similarly to her, and her abilities somewhat. She often, depending on what she finds when she investigates a place, more times than not, she has referred people to, you need to find a local shaman to come in and do this. This is not something I can do. Gives them some things to do in the meantime, often involving, like, salt and stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, she was like, you need to get like a shaman in here and or a Catholic priest to come clean whatever this is out. Yes, Amy from the Dead Files is, oh, I love her. Welcome in, Rampage. How you doing? All right. So we've got let's do the surviving ancient skinwalker tunnels again. I'd like to do a second part to just the Sally Walkers on their own, and the Sally Walker Ranch is going to be a whole separate stream. So there's going to be more to come for this. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, the ranch is definitely going to have to be by itself. There's too much to go over.
So many of the topics I cover are like, I need to sit down here over the next week, physically look back through my streams and be like, okay, I need to do a follow-up to this one, a second part to that one. Because I'm always like, oh, what about, I need to go back and do a continuation of quite a few topics. So,
Well, even after you redo the Denver one, there's so much in that. You probably have to do a part 2 to it.
yeah, I have to redo it because YouTube took it and said bye-bye.
Because
'cause I
Raven
said,
doesn't know how to keep her panini talk to herself.
listen, please don't get me started, especially because
Raven, we're trying to figure out how to survive the Sallys.
the CVS today was filled of people going to get their panini bowls, and I just wanted to grab every one of them and be like, don't you listen to anything besides mainstream media. Don't eat the panini bowl. It's so bad. All this stuff's coming out, but what do I know? Propaganda.
You're just a bird.
I'm just a burb talking about a delicious cuisine. I prefer salmon and tuna in my panini bowls. I like a little fried wonton. I like a crunch. I'm a texture girl. But stay away from it. But you got to be careful. You got to know what's in your panini bowl and how nutritious it is. And these panini bowls are not, because we're talking about food.
Yes. Those panini bowls get dangerous.
I'm not gonna get triggered. I'm so
Yes,
fucking
Raven.
triggered.
Let's talk about Christmas. So, as Mariah Carey has defrosted and Michael Bublé has, and I now have a 2-hour Christmas special. I say we just skip past all that and get rid of the pumpkin, and we stay on the topic of Christmas and Sally's.
So you got that. I found this, like, it's like 2.5 hour compilation of it's like Frosty and Rudolph and like
I've been
all the
watching
good
it.
old school Christmas specials. And the first thing I did was send it to Creek, and I was like, here you go.
I've been watching it.
We need
I
to
love
watch
the
that one
older
day.
ones.
I know. We should do, like, you know what? When it gets closer to Christmas and stuff, or like around Thanksgiving, we'll start doing little watch parties in my Discord for Christmas stuff. How about that? Because we can watch whatever we want in there. We can watch all the good Christmas specials. I'd like to find, of course, the Peanuts one, very Charlie Brown Christmas. We can watch a couple of Christmas movies if we want. Because my line of thinking is, not all of us have friends or family near us or whatever, and I always wanted to try and make a space where we can all come hang out for those of us that
I'm in anything Christmas. There's 2 days for Thanksgiving because I go to a powwow for 2 days, but the rest is Christmas. I started in August. Raven started her pumpkin stuff in August. And November 1st, she's done. I've got a letter I gotta write, and it'll be over.
No, welcome in Ponder Pain's not. That's Creeks. So apologies. I told you, girl. All
Hey,
right.
I
so
told
this
you I
is-
tried to fix it. It's got a mind
I
of its
know.
own.
No, trust me. I will make sure before she comes up again that it's fixed, because I'm sure her animals and her family's enjoying that too.
Hey,
All right.
listen here. It's wired in. It don't have a battery.
Well,
I took it out.
But it's beeping for a reason. You got to get it checked out. Safety first. So this is the last video we're going to watch, because we're going on 2 hours and my back's hurting. But I want to watch this one because I believe it's this video where he talks about the guardian and he's training to like hunt these things down. So I'm real excited for this one. All right. I'm going to put him up to 1.25. Darn, your burb's hurting tonight, y'all. The weather's changing and getting cold, and I love it. But I have a lot of actual arthritis in my spine. I'm looking at you, Nig, so it's my pain level's a little high lately.
You guys asked for more, and I'm here to give you more. Some people have commented they want to hear a couple more NAVAJO stories that I have. I will tell you this first story.
Well, let's
It's going to be my first mission I ever had with the Guardian.
So if you are only listening and not watching, there are some parts where the gentleman he is with is a little further away from the microphone, and Shane has been Shanclen has been kind enough to put the subtitles in his video, but just an FYI.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SHANCLEN Shadow Productions. You guys have asked and you shall receive. You wanted some more Skinwalker Yanagloshi stories, and I'm here to give it to you. It's kind of a tough subject to talk about because you're not really supposed to talk about Skinwalkers and Yanagloshis, but I'm here to give you guys the truth. I'm here to give you guys the knowledge that I know. So this first story I'm going to be telling you, I'm going to be taking you back 12 years ago. This is my very first mission I went on with my brother Hero and my uncle Naurion to be able to kind of do a scouting recon mission over in Tuanjona. And that's where we're originally from and where the Guardians train. So over there, we were visiting one of our relatives at their Hogan, and we were driving back and we noticed something that was kind of off with the whole area and the land. So when we were driving down the dirt road, a lot of times the old people used to build their fences with tree trunks, tree branches, and they would line barbed wire around it to be able to put a barrier around their crops or their cattle or their sheep to be able to make sure they don't wander off or animals get into their crops. So there was an old, over there specifically, it was used for farming. So there was a plot of land that was used for farming a long time ago from our ancestors. And on one of the posts, there was a can on top of the branch. Now, we've gone up and down that road so many times, and we've always kind of just seen it, but then that can was never there.
Creepy moment, but for an unrelated side note, welcome in Zoe Wing. Good to see you. And just public service announcement for everybody, because most of us have wired and smoke detectors now. Zoe says the wired smoke detectors have internal capacitors that wear out after 10 or 20 years, so they can no longer power the device. You just have to replace the whole thing. Did not know that. And now we do. So thank you, Zoe, for that important information, because the beeping is like whatever, it's a nuisance. Safety first, you know. Did you make a note of that, Creek? Yep. All right.
I did.
Okay. See, we are an educational Burbs Nest. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you again for being here. And yeah, if anyone who's here now, shout out replay crew, please feel free to hit that thumbs up if you'd like to share my stream and let people know we talk about creepy evil stuff on Fridays and usually Wednesdays when I cover nags because I mean, listen, different sides of the same cookie. I'm just saying. Oh.
So we're just like, hey, let's pull off. Let's go check out what this is.
So this thing he said, hold on.
It's like, hey,
So this right here, he said was not there before. And they're going to go and check it. Because, yeah, when you live in an area like this and you've lived there your whole life and you know everybody and you're driving past it 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day, you're going to notice. Other people may not notice, but yeah, this is going to be very evident, I would imagine.
So we're just like, hey, let's pull off. Let's go check out what this is real quick. So me being 15 years old, I was kind of nervous to be able to see, what's going on. This is my first mission. My brother has trained me. He's kind of taught me and told me stories about the NAVAJO itself. And this is broad daylight. So we walked across, I would have to say, like a couple 100 yards away from the road. And we make it to that post where the can is. We take off the can and we kind of look around because that can was put there for a reason, whether it be for attention for us, whether the spirits put it there to let us know that, hey, there's something over here, or it's used for the Yanagloshis in the local area to say, hey, this is a marker right here. If you need to hide out, this is where you need to go. They kind of use that. They would put cans on, shrub bushes or other types of different markers.
I never thought about that. I never thought, like, what if there's multiple and they're communicating with each other, like, hey, come over here and, like, you can chill and hide or hang out. Oh, my God. That. Creek, are you looking for cans on sticks around your house, girl?
No, I do have an awful lot of cans.
Well,
but I'm not surprised they work together. The more they are, the faster they can get to you.
Oh my God, girl. I need a katana. I need some ash. I need some adult diapers because I'm
the ash I can help you with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The katana, on the other hand, I cannot.
Yeah, I'm sure I could.
I'm not just hanging out with katanas.
I need to get with my. I have a couple of tribes around me, but yeah, I would like to get with them and see if there's somebody I could like sit down with and talk to and figure out how to film on my phone and get it. And it's a little ways down the ways, but one day I would like to do that and make a little video on my channel and just kind of, not only on like Sally Walkers and Wendy's, but I know if y'all have ever heard. So I'm in Reno, Nevada. If you get on 80 and go east, you're going to hit Lovelock. And there are the Lovelock Caves, the Lovelock Giants, where the local tribe is said to have been terrorized by a tall, red-headed giant, the same ones that there are stories of in Iraq and or Iran. And it used to come into the village and would terrorize them, steal people, and eat them until they were able to lock it into a cave. And it's maybe like a 4-hour drive from me. So may happen the spring or summer next year. I might drive out there and see if I can't sit down and do a little, interview with somebody from the local tribe and get a little video for you guys.
Well, if you decide to go and get in caves yourself, be careful because lots of things like to hide in there.
Yeah. Oh no. If I go in the cave, it shan't be alone and it will be during the day, and I will have my pew pew, my katana, my ash, and I'll make sure I even have a fucking stick and a rock. I will be prepared. You know me.
Markings
Ponder
that
pan.
you would just normally say, oh, that's just trash. But they've come to
It does not qualify ponder panes. If you go back a little bit and watch, that ash is, I would consider it like a sacred ash, and you can use any type of wood. He said you're supposed to say prayers and such, and put an offering in it. So it's
Prayers, offerings, special herbs, and natural ingredients.
yeah.
Wood could be any type of wood. A lot of times it's what's local to the tribes.
Yeah, think of it as like making holy water, but more involved. I would say more spiritual, energy based, and
And you're going to want to get it all down to an ash, like no wood left, nothing.
yeah.
use as just like, oh, something you would shrug off is actually it has meaning to some of these beings. Now, when we looked around that post right there, we kind of went about, like, I would say like 100, 200 feet radius around it. My brother pointed out something. He said, hey, guys, come over here. Come look at this. So came over there, and this is kind of where it scared me. I looked on the ground, and there was a hole that was in the ground. I would have to say it was around 7 feet in diameter. Went down, I would say 8 or 9 feet into the ground.
Oh my god. That's a big ass hole. Sorry, that's what she said. That's a big ass hole. That's not a hole. That's like a trench. Nearly. Holy shit. Oh shit, Rampage.
And I was just like, what the heck is this? And he said, this is a Yanagloshi hole. So Yanagloshi holes and tunnels are something they use to be able to traverse the land while being unseen. Sometimes to get into homesteads, they would carve out and dig these tunnels maybe straight up to your floorboards, or even some way to sneak by without anybody noticing. So in those stories, the holes, when they're active, they're only about like that big. So
Creek, do you want to go back and look at that hole again? Do you want to go look at the hole again?
Yeah.
All right, because she's saying she sees. All right, let me tap it back. Let me know if. Here, I'll let it play and just yell pause.
Went down, I would say 8 or 9 feet into the ground.
Like yell it.
Stop.
Is it
Right,
like
you
in
see-
here?
Over some.
Left or right?
It's left to me.
Yeah, it's going to be left to me too. Here?
Up top some. And over left again. It's right in there.
All right, it's a little blurry. Hold on. Let me try to see if he zooms out again. Like in here?
Yeah.
That?
Yeah.
That's where I see it. Yeah. Oh, and y'all see it? It's like a skeleton type face. Good catch on that. I was looking
It's-
down here.
It's right there, and then if you see like that prickly part to the left of it,
Mm-hmm.
there's one right underneath that. You had your mouse right on it. Okay, go down just slightly. Over slightly to the right. Right there. It's the face.
Yeah, my brain's not picking that one out as easily, but I definitely see the other one. I mean, even so, I would say the Sally Walkers, they're obviously not 100% physical being.
No.
They're majority like spiritual, but they do seem to have some physical substance to them. Like, would that be an accurate description? Like,
I think
they're
so.
solid.
It's hard to explain, but that puts it in a pretty good way.
Okay. And
Because if you
maybe-
weren't looking good, you definitely wouldn't have seen them.
yeah. And I wonder, I'm kind of getting the sense that maybe they can control that, where they can be more physical and then go more solid, more, you know what I mean? Like
Manifest
scale.
more so you see them
Yeah.
like you would someone else that's standing in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah. But they can definitely like adjust it, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I am charging up my Wii. Well, not my Wii, my Nintendo Switch. I will be making a Nintendo Switch section in the Burbs Nest Discord. And anyone else that has a Nintendo Switch, I have I'll list what versions of Mario Kart and Mario Party I have. We can share friend codes, all that fun stuff. So after creepy streams, when we can't sleep and we're all a little freaked out, we can dip into the Discord and maybe, play games or just on the Switch and just a little, we always try to stay centered and keep it light here. So just a little side note. I'll be doing that a little bit after stream.
And I was just like, what the heck is this? And he said, this is a Yanagloshi hole. So Yanagloshi holes and tunnels are something they use to be able to traverse the land while being unseen. Sometimes to get into homesteads, they would carve out and dig these tunnels maybe straight up to your floorboards, or even some way to sneak by without anybody noticing.
Oh no.
So
no.
in those stories, the holes, when they're active, they're only about like that big. So when a Yanagloshi were to come up to one of these entrances, he would sing a song, say a phrase, or give an offering of something, of flesh, of something death, maybe a little bone, or some form of verification to be able to grant access into the tunnels like this. Kind of like a ID card or something like that, but they don't use those things. So then the hole would open up and they would just hop in there. Then when they get in there, the hole would kind of close up. So when you're inside these tunnels is a lot bigger than what it actually seems on the inside. And a lot of times the Yanagloshis would use these tunnels for their trainings or indoctrinations of young orphan children that they would steal, or new trainees. They would go in there to just try to just destroy the mind, interrogations, or all these other evil purposes that are happening inside those tunnels.
I had no idea. I thought you became a Sally Walker maybe more like it was similar to the Wendy's. This is like this is like a whole Scientology situation type deal moment.
Oh no, it's completely different than how you become a Wendy.
Oh my god, this is like,
It's more intense too.
it's complicated. God, yeah, we will definitely be doing a part 2 to like Sally Walkers and how you become one and all that. Because I feel like we're not even scratching the surface on this. We're like looking at it. So there will definitely be a follow up to this. We're gonna do Sally Walker Ranch a little farther down the line because that's its whole bag of beans. And I'm taken aback because I didn't like it sounds like it's a whole ass community.
It basically is.
Oh my god. All right. I'm gonna grab my notebook and make some notes and let this play again. Damn. There anything else you wanted to add at the moment, huh, Creek?
Just a lot of the skinwalkers. Well, Sally's. I'm
Yeah.
already so, but a lot of it is community based because, like I said, it's easier to get you the more there are in one spot.
Yeah. Is it like the more of them that are concentrated in one area sort of magnifies their
Power.
yeah. No, that
Very
makes
much.
sense. You know, it's like when you light a match, it's just one, and then you light another one, put it together, the flame gets bigger, and then you add
Yeah.
more and more matches until it's a torch.
Exactly like that.
Okay, I'm pretty good with analogies. I gotta give myself a little ass pat for that.
Well, you're good at figuring out what I'm saying because half the time nobody knows.
I know that's why I'm like the ADHD and my mind's all over and it's difficult to find the words and when you're streaming and it's definitely something I've developed my skill on, gotten better and continue to try to improve upon every stream I do. So thanks for understanding. I'm a scatterbrained bird sometimes and I love you, Creek.
I love you too, Bird.
No.
And so, with that backstory, going back to here, I remember my brother telling me these stories, and he told me, he was just like, "This is your first mission. Now you're gonna have to go inside that tunnel." Really? It's like, but kind of really hesitant to go in there. He's just like, "It's your first mission. Go in there." So he said, "Before you go in there, though, your sword is too big to be able to be used inside the tunnels. You have to go in with your knives. So one thing you always do, leave your sword at the entrance of the cave to mark if as a marking to show your other squad mates if you have reinforcements or you have friends come about, they're trying to find you. They'll know which tunnel you went into and they can follow suit from there." So from there, I put my sword down and I hopped in there. And I would have to say I'm a pretty big dude. I'm 6 something. I'm 6 at the time. I probably would have been 6'1", maybe. But when I went in there, the tunnel entrance above was actually a couple of feet above me. So I looked inside of there, and it looked like the tunnel went up into the mountain, but it was collapsed. It was caved off a few feet in. So my brother and my uncle pulled.
I feel like I should have paused it right there. Do we see anything? We peeping anything? Yes, he is quite cute and he has very good energy and personality. I would I don't know that I would date
recommend
this
you
dude.
keep moving
Okay.
Pulled me back
because
out,
there's a lot
and
there.
we followed
and
where the
it's not
tunnel
good.
went,
Just,
where
I
the
keep
tunnel
going.
followed. So we kept walking 30 feet down the line. You see another hole right there. And then we go another 10 feet, 20 feet. There's another giant hole. Right there.
Get the dog.
And these holes went all the way up into the mountain right next to where the homestead was. And up at the top of the homestead, that's where the tunnels ended. So right here is one of the bigger ones right here. All those other ones that we had just lead up that way. These ones continue up this way.
Yeah.
gear that you're wearing is on. Oh, no. Like he said, the story of the twins and stuff. So, that's where the tunnels ended. And when you look at the end and the ending of the tunnels, you see a bunch of burnt trees around, like they were all hit with lightning. Now, something my brother told me was this tunnel that's right here is an old tunnel that the Yenagloshis used to use a long time ago, but now it's abandoned. It was chased out. And in the story, he told me that good and evil were at odds with each other spiritually a while ago. And that was a site of one of the battles there, was when good went into the tunnels and chased out the skinwalkers. But the good spirits that were there had help from the thunder beings. Thunder beings were tossing down lightning bolts at them, making the tunnels collapse.
Oh
So
my
it was
God.
kind of a collapse that chased the skinwalkers out of the tunnel, driving them to the mountain to where the thunder beings had a good clear shot of the skinwalkers right there. So when they went up to the top of the mountain, they just let loose their lightning bolts and just lit them up. And unfortunately, some of the trees were hit during the scuffle, during the battle, and we were actually able to find some of their old relic weapons there. And when spiritual objects cross over into the physical world, what we've come to find out is they turn to stone. Some of their bone daggers or bone knives that they had turned into stone, and it looked pretty trippy to be able to see like a stone carved out into a knife, but it still had like some of the bone fragments on there. It was very wild. But with this story, it was really interesting to see that a lot of our creation stories that we have and a lot of our other stories that we grew up on, you can go to these sites on where these battles happened.
All right. I need to pause because, gotta make it transformative. And as I'm sitting here listening to him and everything, I have always, even though a lot of like the native stories, quote unquote, were presented as that, like, oh, this didn't really happen. It's just a colorful story. This whole, tribe of people made up for entertainment. No, even as a kid, I could feel um that no, these were in fact true stories. And yes, there might be a little colorful embellishment, because again, oral tradition, this is when the day was done, you sat around the fire talking and telling stories, passing this down. But I've always taken um these quote unquote stories as no, they're telling their history as it happened. And it's not fiction, and
I do
I
have
very much
something to add.
uh-huh.
He says you can visit these places, and you can. I would check with the tribes that are in the area, because a lot of
Absolutely.
times they have made them sacred grounds.
Yes. Yes.
So to be on them is really bad, not just for you, but for the tribes, because it's seen as disrespectful.
Yes. And
So always check if you can actually go there, no matter if it's there or not.
100%, because it's so easy to, like you said, wander into the wrong place, and it's sacred, and yeah, yeah, and you
Or just get
trust me,
yourself hurt.
you will know when you're on tribal land. And yeah, definitely check, make sure you're supposed to be there, see if somebody can come with you, because I'm sure they're gonna appreciate, you going to check and see. There's usually like I don't know what you would call it, like a building, that you can go to, or there's
Kind of
somewhere
like a town hall.
yeah,
If you want to equate, it's kind of like a town hall. You'll find a lot of your elders there and a lot of your important people there.
yeah, and there will be, it might take a little looking or googling, or stay on the main road and look for signs, but there will be a point of contact, and trust me, they will appreciate you being like, hi, I want to make sure I'm not being disrespectful, and especially in this day and age of like Instagram and TikTok, and oh, let's go film this here, and no, like Target is one thing. I hope I know my community is, y'all are amazing, but I just hope other people realize what you're saying, and take that respect into account.
And never take anything from those grounds.
Oh, exactly. Do not.
Especially from those grounds.
Yeah. Yeah. There was an instance here a couple years ago. They were digging on the side of a mountain, and like accidentally discovered a burial site that the Washoe or Washoe Sioux tribe didn't even know was there. They immediately stopped, contacted the tribal leaders. They came out and did what they needed to do, and like this, I forget what it was for. It was for some sort of like outbuilding or something, for like, I think it might have been storing like snowplows or something. But they had to scrap the entire project and move it to a completely different site, because they unknowingly discovered like a forgotten a sacred burial site. So I will say, the area I live in, Reno, which is Washoe County, which is named after the Washoe Sioux tribe, they are very respectful, and they do what they do right, Oh yeah. Oh, cat. Oh, that's such a shaking but not stirred cat said, I'd love to study under Creek. She knows so much about native tribes. Creek, let me tell y'all about my friend Creek. She's young, or ish, early 20s, we'll say. Creek is one of the, girl, you're an old soul. She is intelligent. She is not only book smart, she's very mature. Again, that's why I say, she's an old soul. If she doesn't know, she learns. She's very well read on a lot of topics. You very often surprise me, Creek, because I'm like, you know about that? And she's like, oh yeah, da-da-da-da-da, and then sends me like 5 links to stuff. I'm always so impressed by you, Creek. She really, I don't know if I should talk to the chat or you. Creek Native Girl is one of the sweetest, most pure of heart. Just, she's one of the best humans I know. And shout out to Mick, because we became friends because of Mick. And I'm so thankful for that every day. And same with Sarah Kay and Illyria and everybody, because y'all are my girls. So I'm not gonna get too choked up and emotional on stream right now, but thank you for that very kind comment.
Yes, thank you, Kat. That's very sweet of you. And Raven with the kind words again.
Well, I'm just speaking the truth that,
Yes, Sarah, me and you are the babies.
Creek
And I'm
Creek
younger
is
than
solid.
Sarah.
She's one of those people, one of those friends where she's just solid. You know, she's not gonna bullshit you. She's gonna tell you straight, but she has a beautiful way of doing that you also don't feel like she's talking down to you, and she's just Creek is the best, and I'm gonna hit play before I get all choked up.
You can go to where the monsters ran around and carved out the land from their massive scale battles that they used to have a long time ago. And that's something that I really feel is very interesting, is because, you know, you can walk on history and you can see where all this stuff came from. So this right here is another story, one of the many stories that I had of interacting with, you know, the darker beings, or seeing like the aftermath of where they come from, how they get about and everything. So this is just one story that I have of skinwalker interactions in my times. This is the very first one I've actually ever had, and there's many more to come, many other stories that I have from my interactions and my adventures with my brother as well. And so just be careful out there, everybody, especially for those of you on the reservations out there. You know, be careful of tunnels, be careful of dark holes that you see out there. And, you know, don't be going jumping in them if you see one open up or not. Definitely a lot of creepy things in there. And, you know, just stay safe out there, everybody. And always beware. Don't be mentioning the Anagloshi unless you know how to handle them. Oh, I'm going to.
Facts.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you later, everybody.
Yep, it's already thumbs up. Look at that. Listen, I'm gonna see if I can track down an email for this guy. Maybe, just maybe, I can maybe see if he'll actually come on a stream one night. You know, that would be wild. I don't know why he would.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, like, he seems real nice. I'm sure he would, and I would just explain and whatever. And again, his links are in my description. Let me. I think I still have his. Yes. Here's the link to his channel. As you can see, I'm already subscribed. I've already thumbs up his videos. There's more. We're going to watch more. I've made notes. I'm thinking so this coming Friday is November. Well, no. Today is Friday. So next week is the 3rd. Then we've got the 10th. Let's aim for Friday, November 17th. Right? Because that gives us 1, 2, 3. It gives us like a month-ish, you know, to prepare and research and maybe even try to contact him. And then that is one of those streams where I do it when he's available, you know. But yeah, definitely though, I will be continuing to look into this, because there's a lot I like. I don't know. I guess I was thinking Sally Walkers were maybe more solitary, you know, and like there'll be one here and there, but I didn't realize like they've got a whole community, and it's like it's the Scientology of of the bad spirit world almost.
Well, a lot of people also confuse them with Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll put the same parameters on Sally's as they would Wendy's, and it's completely different and way more complex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would confuse them a long time ago. I would get them confused, and sometimes I still do, but definitely after last week, because if you missed last week, I did cover the Wendy. And again, so every single topic I do, I try to do between 2 and 3 hours. Sometimes it goes over. There's so much to every topic I cover. Seriously could probably do like at least 5 parts on each one. But this was wild. So yeah, don't walk around saying the actual name, which is why, as you can see, Sally was the code word for stream and will continue to be. And again, there's a section in my Discord where the code words for not just the creepy stuff, but everything. And it's you people can comment in there. I'll tell you right now, I delete everyone's comment because I don't want it to be filled up with conversation and stuff. And we all know the basic code words for grape and essay. And, we don't need to be putting detailed stuff in there. And so just know if you comment in there, it will be deleted. If you have a suggestion for a code word for something, you can go into Raven Squawk Box or General, tag me, let me know. And if suitable, I will throw it in there. Just an FYI, because I don't want anyone, it's not personal. I don't want anyone to get offended or upset. So that's why I say that, because, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So curious to know, you guys in chat and on Replay Gang, if you want to leave a comment, did you quote unquote believe Sally Walkers were real before watching this stream? And now that we're at the end of it, do you still have that same view and opinion? If anything, I'm more scared than I was before.
My opinion hasn't changed.
Ugh. Yeah, Creek and I are gonna have to have a whole ass conversation and be like, all right, what's the game plan? Because keep in mind, again, she's got one running around her property. So is there
Oh, I know B-Wash wanted to see that picture.
Uh-huh.
I can't find the exact one, but I have one similar. So I'll send it to you and you can post it on the Discord or in your community.
If you want to text it to me right now, I can throw it into a Discord I have that I only use for stream. And I can throw it up on screen right quick before we dip out. And while you're doing that, I'll make a few more notes. Again, I'm not going to stream this week on Sunday because I will be doing a stream on Tuesday, which is Halloween. If you are spoopy, if you're a member, feel free to join memberships. If you're spoopy burb or above, we'll be doing a members only pre-stream. And then we'll hang out for a little bit, a couple hours on Halloween or however long. We're going to watch some fun stuff and hang out and chat. And I might drop a link if, some people I know want to get up on panel. And I will drop that link in the Discord if I drop it, or personally, one-on-one. And I do need to know you and be familiar with you to let you up on panel, because that's just, I like to play it safe here.
You can't be a doppelganger.
No crunchy cocks.
Look in chat.
Did you change your name?
Yeah.
Oh my God. People are starting to think that you're me. And they're like, why is Raven talking about cocks? And I'm like, no, it's a joke. It's Creek. It's not butter.
I got bored.
No, I know. Creek always changes her name. I love Creek and April are always changing their name. Like April was like corn cult member number 5 for the longest time.
She's
I
not
wanna-
April now.
Yeah, she's not April. I want to know why Cobes, like, that has thrown me. We're gonna have to do some investigation, because, like, why did that happen? How is Mick gonna feel about this?
I was so confused. Had just realized earlier today I had not gotten a notification about him in
Mhm.
days. And that's when I found out somebody
So weird.
told me he had gotten a strike.
Really?
Whichever
is that
one puts you on the ban for like 7 days. You can't stream or upload.
that? Okay, so that can be that was I think that's probably, what is it called, like a community guideline strike. Like, so I got a warning for running my big mouth when they took my Denver stream down, but the next step after that, if you get a community guideline strike, you can't stream for a week. If you had any streams scheduled, you can't do those. There's like a bunch of stuff. It's like, I don't even think you can post on your community tab, or
Bun called
basically
it.
you can get on and watch videos, but as like a creator, you can't do anything.
Bun was able to catch it. She posted it in the code's chat.
Okay. All right, let me go grab. All right, I'll grab both. All right, give me a second. So yeah, so I will not be streaming this Sunday because I'm going to stream on Tuesday for Halloween instead. Pre-stream members only. And I little side note, I usually do a deep cleaning. I have a Kia Sorento SUV, and since I got it in August of 2019, every spring I've done a deep cleaning on my SUV because Jasper is an 85-pound pit bull. His fur is white. He sheds like crazy, and it's that short, like wiry kind of fur. It gets
This was not
everywhere.
Jasper's fault.
It is not, but there's
He is
copious
a
amounts of
lovable-
fur.
He is just lovable
No,
and
yeah.
wants rides. So it's not his fault. His hair
No.
needs to learn to just
No,
hang on.
I know it's not his fault. I'm not saying it is. It is the fault of my psychotic neighbor who, thank God, moved out because I could not walk outside of my house and spend the day cleaning out said SUV because this woman was so, like, legit insane. This woman called the cops on me one time because you want to know what I did? You want to know what I did that was so heinous and evil and unacceptable, unlawful even? She felt the need to dial 911 and have the police show up to my door. You want to know what the fuck I did?
Well,
You might think of me differently after you guys hear this, and I don't blame you. I took a picture of a car. I took a picture of a car because they had moved all their shit out earlier that same day. So I thought they were like packed up and gone. And all of a sudden, there's this like weird car parked in their spot that I had never seen in the 6 years they lived here. And there's some like teenagers in the unit. And I know their son had just graduated. So I'm like, did some kids from the school know they were moving out? Are they here to party? Are they going to mess the place up? I don't recognize these people. Like, I was just being cautious, so I took a picture of the car and the license plate. She comes zooming to the back of the parking lot, nearly hits me, mind you, jumps out of her car. I saw you take that picture. Okay, I took a picture. That's my son's friend's car. He's a minor. He's only 17. I'm calling the cops. And the cops showed up and were like, "Why the fuck did you call us, lady?" They were so mad at her.
I can imagine.
This is how she was. She would wait and she would hear us like come out our back door. I don't care if we were throwing the trash away, getting in our car to leave. One time I got in my car to go to Starbucks and her parking spots next to ours. She purposely like she was backed into the spot. She came out, pulled out of the spot, pulled into the spot so close while I'm sitting there, so I couldn't even pull out and leave. She pulled in so close to my car, I couldn't even have opened my door. So my only choice, like I could barely open it. So when I came back, because of course I was making a Starbucks run, I am, oh hey Doris, hey, welcome in.
It was probably for Nasty Pumpkin.
No, it wasn't. It was for vanilla iced latte. It was summertime. But I had two choices. I could either park normally in my spot because she was so far over. I could open my door, and you know how you like gently rest your door on the car next to you and squeeze out? Or I would have
She
to
would
have
probably been
had,
waiting there with a camera for you.
oh, it gets worse. Or if I parked farther over to the passenger, because she's on my driver's side. So if I would have parked farther over to account for her parking like a fucking dildo, I would have there's like a support pole for the awning that goes over the spots. I would have scratched like that would have scratched my car all the way down. So I parked normal in the spot, rested my car door. Her like 17, 18-year-old son, her husband, her mother, the fucking abuela. Oh, and they're all like, the patio's right there. Oh, we heard you. I heard you. You dented my car. I had like 4 or 5 adults come out yelling swear words at me, saying I was crazy. They called the cops again. The cops came out and were like, "Why are we here?" This woman was fucking insane. So I haven't been able to deep clean my car for like 2 years because literally I could not walk outside of my home without this woman coming over and instigating some shit. When I was just like, we don't like each other. You're fucking nuts. You stay in your space. I'll stay in mine. Let's just leave each other alone. She was so fucking psychotic. She couldn't do that. And I contacted her landlord. I went to the HOA. I went to the cops. I even consulted a lawyer. 6 years this woman harassed us to the point I used to have fucking anxiety attacks. Straight up fucking panic attacks. Because I would have to take my garbage out. And I'm like, and I knew she was going to try. She always started with us. We want to look at her. We want to talk to her. And literally, she would come and get in my face. And no one did anything. And we had proof of this. There's so much more this lady did. Maybe I'll do a member stream one day and like detail all the shit this woman did during it. So when I hear people like Nags bitching about it's a level 6 felony harassment or some shit, I'm like, it takes so much for especially like law enforcement, to do anything when there's legitimate like harassment and stalking going on. You know, that dipshit thinks he's gonna be like, oh, these two fat lesbians on the internet are bullying me and being mean. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how it works.
Well, I mean, from what he's saying, them uh pew pews aren't even in his name.
Oh, I guarantee they're not. Because he can sit here and say, I'm not red flagged. No. From I've heard several people, again, this I have not seen anything with my own eyes to confirm this, but he's told several people in the past, yeah, I've been red flagged. As well he should be. I guarantee every single one of those is in someone else's name, most likely DC's. They're either in his dad's name or DC's name, or maybe one of his older son's name that are, I think it's over 18 in Indiana. Indiana is a constitutional carry state, which I don't agree with. I think there should be background checks, waiting periods. If you want to conceal carry, like here, you have to do a class, and it's like an FBI level background check. Like, there should be filters in place for people like, you know, NIGs and such.
Agreed.
No, Sarah, she moved out. She, get this, and the landlord, he's a useless piece of shit, and he can suck my butt because he's like, oh, it's your neighbor. I'm like, you're not my neighbor. You're the unit owner. I said, you don't have to live next to the people you rent out to. I have to live next to them and deal with them, because let's just say he tends to rent to people that can't they're not able to rent in like a luxury apartment complex or an apartment complex of any sort. They can't they can't pass the background check. You know what I mean? He's renting to the people that have no other place to rent from.
Well, he sounds crazy himself if he thinks he's your neighbor.
Yeah, so I'm like, you're not my neighbor. I forgot what my point was with that, but no, she moved out, and she lied to, we'll call him Jay. She lied to Jay and was like, oh, this is my brother, and because they they loaded up a semi, because thank God they moved out of state, with all their shit. And like I said, I thought they were gone. But then, like, you know how it's like usually somebody moves out and then there's like a little, you know, the place
There's a
gets
time
cleaned up.
period.
It's like the place gets cleaned up, maybe a fresh coat of paint, whatever. There's time in between. Not with this one. They were still moving out and these new people moved in. Crazy neighbor lady lied to Jay about who they were and what the relationship was. He let this dipshit move in with his two sons that were like probably 12 and 14. These boys always had fast food in their hands. He was crazy too. The people I fucking deal with, but so I couldn't clean it when that guy was there last spring. I'm not going to clean it over the summer because there's no shade. It's 100 degrees out. I can only do so much in a day because of my spine. So I'm like, I'm going to take the weekend and deep clean my SUV. I am ridiculously excited. I am middle-aged. So I'm like, okay. I'm going to do the Halloween stream. So I'm going to skip Sunday and I'm going to indulge and clean deep clean my car. I'll take before and after pictures and show you guys. Oh shit.
You're going to make it look brand new.
Oh. I'm going to take out all the dog's blankies and wash them. I'm going to scrub my floor mats. hold on. Let me go into one where I shouldn't show anything. All right, hold on. And then I will upload these. You know what? Let me just make a new whatchamaboopsits. These. We're just chilling, hanging out. I hope you guys, I hope everybody enjoys these Friday streams. I'm here every Friday doing creepy stuff. And I am, as always, I'm trying to improve and up my game. And especially if you're in the Discord, I sure do appreciate feedback, constructive criticism, and because it's a lot to come up with stuff. All right. Can I make this bigger? Let me see if I can make it bigger or. All right. I'm going to make this as big as I can. I'm not exactly sure. Nope, that's not how you do it. So, okay, let me share this. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not able to make this bigger. If you are in my Discord and, Creek wants, we can throw them in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, so we'll throw them in the Discord under, what would be a good section? Let's put them under, there's a paranormal part. General, we're here. Let me make, I'm going to make a separate pictures thread. And if you want to throw them in there. So they'll be in there. Okay. So this is the first one. Is it this? I feel like the other one was similar to the one you initially sent me. Well, no, this one is. So yeah, it was similar to this. And I just looked at this. And keep in mind, Creek didn't say anything, right? So there was like nothing that there was possible bias confirmation. And I just looked at the picture and I was like, oh, but there's something in those woods.
Yeah. I'm gonna take one more picture.
Okay.
And I'll throw that one in there with all these.
Yeah.
Because I got a newer phone, so it should be better.
Ooh. And then there's this one. And I'm sorry, StreamYards isn't. I don't have the fancy OBS and stuff, so I can't zoom in on things. So I do apologize for it being small, but again, like if you're on your phone, you can pause it. We will put these in the Discord so you can zoom in on there. And it is a bit of a process getting in my Discord. And the only thing I ask is that preferably your Discord name and profile pic is the same as your YouTube one, or at least similar. So like, we know who's who. A couple of people, their name and profile picture are different, but because I know it's them, or their name will be different, but their picture's the same. So, we're trying to keep the riffraff out. So those are those. And again, we'll throw them in the Discord. Thank you for sharing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, not the abuela. That story where like she purposely like blocked me in. They're all out there. The fucking abuelito was like doesn't even live there, right? Was in town because the oldest son had graduated high school miraculously because he was not the brightest. But it was like, oh, you fucking bitch. Oh, you fucking crazy bitch. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. And her 8-year-old daughter is standing there too. And I'm like, wow. And I got out of my car, didn't acknowledge them. I was on a Discord call with some friends at the time because I was like, I should have been recording. Because I told the cops what she did. And if I would have had a picture or video of her purposely like pulling in so close next to me, she could have got, I don't know, she could have gotten in trouble. I'm not sure how, but the stories I have, she's fucking nuts. I am worried about you with you having a fucking Sally in the woods around your house, girl. Is there like, have you contacted like somebody, like an elder, or like, are you, if you're comfortable answering that?
I talked with my uncle, who is our tribal medicine man.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me some advice, and then just from the stuff I already knew.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Sarah. Well, yeah, we'll all get together and chat about that. Let's tentatively plan on Friday, November 17th, because then that's not well, actually, that might be a continuation of this one. No, I'm gonna do, you know what? I'm gonna continue this next week. I'm sure Creek will come up if she can. Either this next Friday or the Friday after. We'll continue part 2 of this, and then we'll do that whole separate stream. Either November 17th or the following Friday, which I think, I'm not sure when Thanksgiving is. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm being barked at. I think Winston has to pee, which, funny story before we go. Winston, he's a little Shih Tzu, and we have a cover on our grill, and like it goes down to the ground and everything. And he likes to, anything he goes to pee on, usually he's got to like do this thing where he'll walk up alongside it, turn around and go back, walk along, and he'll do that 3 or 4 times. And then he hikes his cute little tiny leg up and he pees on it. And the grill cover is like his favorite thing to pee on right now. So it's like, I think it was the morning I woke up at 4. He toddled out there at like 6:30. Sun was just coming up. I wasn't paying much attention. It was still a little bit dark. So I see him go over there and start doing his back and forth thing to go potty, to go pee pee. Cute little Shih Tzu boy. And I see him and he stops and he hikes his leg up. I shit you not. This dog straight horizontally, like all of a sudden just went pew, like didn't jump up, didn't run, like he just went pew towards me, under my legs, was shaking, making little noises, looking at me like, and then looking over at the grill. And I'm like half asleep, not really paying attention. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what just happened? I look over, and where he had stopped to go pee, there was like a good 3-inch long leaf bug chilling on the side of the grill cover. And so when he propped his leg up to go pee, I think the leaf bug brushed up against his little his little wee wee there, and it scared the shit out of him. And he just
Terrified that baby.
he's looking at me like, Mama, a leaf bug touched my pee-pee. And I was like, oh no. I laughed so hard I nearly peed myself. You poor thing. And it hung out for like another hour. And so he went off and peed on the opposite corner of the yard. And he kept sitting there glaring at that fucking leaf bug. Oh my God. Oh. Rampage says, and I believe Rampage, you said is it South Africa? You said
Yes,
Rampage
South
says
Africa.
yeah.
What they
In
said.
my country, seeing the dead is a thing. When someone passes, they lay in state in their home. Yeah, we refer to that as a wake. And that used to be a very common thing. I think we are so far removed from the dying process and death itself. Like, there were no funeral homes. Like, when somebody died, you had a wake. You did that in your home. There was
Well,
no embalming.
the reason there were so many, like, you had people lay out on their tables for so long was people had to be contacted, like other family members and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't phones, there
No.
wasn't the internet, so it took so long to get to them that the body stayed there until they could have a proper funeral.
Yeah, there's even in like a lot of older homes, I think specifically Victorian, there's even like a cubby that is where the coffin would go, because you would place the coffin there during the wake. And it's like I would prefer some sort of like what's called like a green burial. You don't, the embalming fluids that are used, I get it, to preserve the body again for the wake and whatnot. I don't want to be embalmed. A lot of those chemicals are now, think about how many people in the ground, those chemicals are seeping into the ground. You the coffins, the waterproofing, the satin lining, it's, I get people want to do what's best and like give their loved ones the best and everything. Like, I personally, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I don't think it's necessary. I think the funeral industry is preying on people's grief. I think a lot of us are familiar with Caitlin, Ask a Mortician. Her channel is a great resource. It's a great perspective.
And a lot of the people in the funeral industry hate that she pushes green burials.
Yeah. Well, she's exposing the fraudulent side of the funeral industry. $10,000 for service, like the plot, the coffin, the this, the that. Oh no, you want to get the silk lining for the coffin. And again, I understand your loved one passes, you want to give them the absolute best. It's not necessary. That literally is a meat suit. But I understand people's different religious views and the grief and everything. Do that for your loved ones while they're alive. Because once we pop out, this is just organic material that's going to decompose. And
I mean, it's like people say, give them the flowers while they're alive. I mean, all those flowers that go to the grave, they never see them.
Yeah. I think cemeteries and whatnot, those are for the living, not the dead. Because it does give you like a physical place to visit, so you can grieve and everything. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that stuff. Hecate says bury me raw. Yeah. Yep.
I told people around me the same thing, just to bury me. They said they wouldn't, so I said I'd put it in my will. They didn't have a choice.
Yeah, and again, I say this a lot. I know it's a very difficult conversation to have about death and dying. Try to have that conversation with, whether it's, your spouse, your adult children, another relative, even a close friend, somebody, hey, these are my wishes, because not only do your loved ones then have to deal with the grief of you passing, especially if it's sudden. Like, I'll use Sam and Yaba, or Yaba as an example, with her ex-husband recently, passing away very suddenly. Shout out Yaba, sending my love to you. I love my lesbian mom. They had no idea. Nothing was in place. The legalities of things came up because he wasn't married to her. He was not married to his current girlfriend. So legally, his mom had the say in everything and is not cooperative, nobody knew what he wanted. If try and have that conversation, and if you can't have a conversation, write it down. Find out, I don't know, it might vary state to state, even within counties in the state. Get it notarized, go to LegalZoom. You don't need like a whole estate planning thing. Most people aren't going to need, but even then, if you have any sort of properties or assets, I don't care if you're 25 and perfectly healthy or if you're 75 and you haven't been feeling so hot. Have the conversation. At the very least, write it down so then your wishes are fulfilled. Your loved ones know what your wishes were, because they're not, again, only going to have the grief of you passing, but then they're going to question themselves. Did I do what my loved one wanted? And then that's gonna compound and add to the, you guys know what I'm saying. I don't want people to be so scared of death and dying and
just
talking about it.
Since we're on this topic, I was told by a family friend who's a lawyer that you need these at least 5 papers done, which would be your will, durable power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, funeral planning declaration, and a living will declared.
Yeah.
Those are 5 of the biggest things you would need.
Yeah. And definitely, yeah. I when I got almost died in 2015, my mom and I had and we're frank about it anyway, because we're both on that level. But that was like the first time I realized, like if I get into an accident or, God forbid something happens, and, does she know what I want as far as like being on life support and what state I'm going to be in? And so we wrote down and clarified all that. So yeah, that's
It's
your living
important
will.
to have.
Or like if you're going in for surgery, they should ask you, do you have an advanced directive on file? And that is going to clarify, like, if I'm under anesthesia and something goes wrong and this, that, or the other thing, these are my wishes. And that's where like the do not resuscitate or life, those kinds of decisions come in. And again, write it down, clarify it. Even, I get it, not everybody wants to or is capable of talking about this stuff, but I will always advocate to get the message out of, please try and have these conversations, because then you'll know, the other person will know. It's because, like, if God forbid, say I get into a car accident tomorrow and they can save me and I'm on life support and whatever, but if I'm going to spend the rest of my existence in any sort of a vegetative state, a state where I can't communicate, I am fully dependent on other people for every single need, and I cannot communicate what my wants and needs are. Nope. If that's how I'm going to be, pull the plug, donate my organs, save or improve on someone else's life, and let me go. Because my mom had a coworker who was out four-wheeling, fucking around one night on the side of a mountain, got into a car accident. Her son was a minor. She was not married. She was divorced. Her mom was the next of kin. She had to say, her mom, and keep in mind, she had like little to no brain activity. So I don't know why they did this. This poor woman's mother kept her on life support for 6 years. Until finally, after 6 years, all the like doctors and stuff basically were like made her take her off life support. And in that time, she never once moved, made an improvement. And her mom even said multiple times to the doctors and other people that would come visit, I can't let her go. But she's not there. Her body was there, but she was not there. So the thought of that, like, fucking horrifies me personally, you know? Oh no, Ponder Pains, we're sitting here blabbing. Yeah, if it was just me, I probably would have ended it, but we're just all sitting here and
Well,
chatting.
we're going to have to end it soon because a girl's laptop is about to die.
Yeah, we're gonna end it. So again, I won't be back until Tuesday night. No Sunday stream, but other people in the community are gonna be streaming. I believe Gigi's gonna be streaming Sunday. I think Deadly Content is streaming Sunday. Death is gonna be streaming tomorrow on her channel. This is all I know. You're gonna want to fucking be there. You're going to want to be there. You're going to want to be there. It's Death, fucking legend, icon, bad bitch that she is. You're going to want to be there, and the aftermath is going to be great. That's all I know. That's all I can say. So thank you everybody for being here, for the stream, listening to us chat, hanging out, dealing
Thanks
with
for putting up with me and my alarm.
No, I was gonna say. So listen, we're gonna continue this with a part 2, and we're gonna do a separate Sally Walker Ranch. I'm gonna get the Switch section set up in my Discord. No stream on Sunday. Halloween stream. I'm probably gonna schedule it tonight ahead of time, so then it's just done. And yeah, kind of a different night, but I appreciate y'all being here. Creek, I appreciate you coming up for your first stream, Miss Mama.
Well, thanks for having me.
You did a
because I was sure this
job.
Wasn't going to work.
No, we did it. And you know, like I said, it was her first stream. We were running a little late, so it was a little chaotic technically before stream. Next time, we're going to have her all set up. Avatar, no beeping. It's going to be great. So, yeah, make sure you're not using names and words you shouldn't be. You know, get you some ashes and take care of yourself. Hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. I love you, Creek.
Love you, bird.
All right. All right. We're going to go now. Thank you so much. I have fun hanging out. Appreciate you guys so much. Please hit the like. Shout out to my moderators, my members, and everybody for being here. Replay gang, all my lurkers. I appreciate you guys. All right, we ready to go? All right, say bye, Creek. Okay, bye.